welcome retired filmmaker George Lucas.
Hello, I'm George Lucas, creator of Star Wars.
What is this?
What do you mean?
What's going on, George?
What? I don't make fun of how fake your beard looks. We have the same beard, Patrick.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Or is there something else? Welcome to the marathon.
No, I just wanted to know what the deal was with the beard, George.
Yeah. It's just a little joke. We're going to have fun today.
We're going to have fun today. We're going to have fun today.
Yeah. But as you can probably tell, this is not a real beard.
No.
Yeah. Hold on. But, All right, there you go.
There you go. Look at that real beard.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
That's a good real beard.
Hold on, that backfired badly.
Oh, no. Oh, you want me to? Hi, guys. Welcome to the George Lucas Talk Show. This month, we're calling it Ford v. Febrrari, and we're talking to people who were involved in Harrison Ford projects. Could be movies, could be TV, you know? It could be all over the place. We got a lot of good people. We had some people drop out, but that's okay. That's okay. We're going to have fun. It's going to be good. I see your hashtag, Where's Watto?
Yeah, where's
Watto will be here. What, George?
The producer's job is to make sure that the talent and the guests arrive at the show. Where's Watto?
Watto will be here in a second. Watto's finishing touches on some things.
Patrick, Patrick, I know that I've been in the producing game a little bit longer than you have, so
yeah.
I hope you won't be offended if I give you a little bit of advice just based on my experience.
Yeah, George, go ahead.
Try shooting him a text. Like send him a text message just to give him a little bump, just to let him know.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's getting ready. I see him getting ready, George. He'll be back in 1 second.
Oh, don't spy on the talent. Just send them a message.
George, we should tell people what we're raising money for today.
Well, today is Ford versus FEBRARRI.
Yeah.
And we're going to be celebrating the work of Harrison Ford. Of course, most famous for Han Solo and Indiana Jones, but also many other films. What Lies Beneath, 6 Days, 7 Nights, Witness, Working Girl, K-19, The Widowmaker. Did I say Regarding Henry? Did I mention Regarding Henry?
You didn't.
Frantic. Hollywood.
You haven't even said Extraordinary Measures yet, George.
That's because I'm saving it. The end of my speech was, and of course, Extraordinary Measures. Because we're going to Extraordinary Measures today to raise some money for one of Harrison's favorite charities, Wings of Hope, which is an organization that I believe uses airplanes to help people, to deliver resources to places that need them, which is,
they fly. One of their things that they do a lot of things, but one of their things that they do is they will fly people who have various conditions and need specific medical help. They'll get them to the places where they need to go in the US, and they do other stuff around the world. So if you guys go to bit.ly/GLTSFord, it'll bring you to a Mighty Cause page, which is a fundraising page. And you can donate your money through there. It'll go directly to Wings of Hope. Mighty Cause is just an easier way for us to do fundraising. It doesn't take out a ton of money like a GoFundMe or something like that. But yeah, it's very easy. Hopefully you guys will be able to help out a lot of people today. There's more info about Wings of Hope on the Mighty Cause page. So it's got a tour of the facilities, an FAQ, and then a bunch of info about all the programs that they do are all in there. But yeah, I think we'll hopefully be able to raise a lot of money. We have some cool people coming on, and I think it's going to be fun, George.
I think it's already fun just hanging out and talking to you, Patrick.
Thanks, George. I appreciate it.
I understand, although you do an excellent job booking talent for the show, that a lot of the segments today might just be me talking to you.
I mean, we don't even have a sidekick at this point.
No, we don't. But that means by default you've become the sidekick.
Yeah, I guess.
Just give us a little kick, Patrick. Let's see those gams.
Here we go. You ready?
Yeah. Look at that.
Did you hear that crack?
That's some good cracking for a sidekick.
That's some good cracking.
You know, a sidekick will often crack wise, but it's good to get an actual literal crack in there. Hello.
Oh, hello.
Oh, my sleepy, beautiful angel.
Oh,
You know, I gave you wings for a reason, Watto. It's because you're a beautiful angel.
I'm tired, Watto.
Oh.
Tired Watto. I feel like Tired Watto's tired now, but Tired Watto's going to be tired of sitting in bed by midnight tonight.
I think you'll be very surprised. And also, here's what I figured. It's easier to go from bed to couch than couch to bed.
That's a great point.
I also think this, and this hadn't occurred to me before, this might be how we ultimately get Yoko on the show. If she finds out that Watto is having a bed in one floor down, let's put the ask out, not to any reps or anything like that, but let's just put the ask out to the universe.
Yeah.
That we're having a bed in for peace and love and hope and all the things that Yoko
I feel like if gosh, we should ask people to do this. If everyone at home watching just opens their window and lets out a powerful, magical musical scream, I feel like Yoko will know what we're talking about.
Yes. Yes, I think we should do a Sleepy Sunday. I think one of our marathons should just be, you don't have to get out of bed.
So you want to do a second marathon in bed is what you're saying.
I'm saying right now this is working for me really well.
You know, I was just saying to Patrick before, because we were getting messages from you, Watto, that you were maybe going to relocate to the bed, that you were sleepy, that you were tired.
Let's just say I pitched the bit Tired Watto, and the delayed response was, okay.
Well, I think Tired Watto is part of the proud lineage of bits on the show, like Blueberry Time and other such bits, where the bit itself is dictated by what we want to happen.
Self-care.
Yeah.
I do think I was saying.
I just want to say, speaking of self-care, pause that thought for one moment. The fridge is beeping. I have to close it.
Okay.
Okay. Well, the next thing I was going to say, I want Watto to hear as well. So should I vamp?
I think you got a vamp, baby.
All right. Well, or how about I'll just do a slow intro so that by the time he gets back, because you're just closing the fridge, right?
Sure. Yeah, you do whatever you want.
Okay. So the thing that I was going to say to you a moment ago, and I would like Watto to hear this as well.
Yeah.
Is that earlier this morning when we were getting ready to do this show, I said to you that it is.
Just put more content in there. You don't have to slow down talking. Just like talk more.
I was remembering.
Yeah.
A time before COVID when we would do these shows in theaters with people. Yeah. And there were times when Watto was busy. And these were rare occurrences, but there were times when he was unable to make it to a show. And it seems crazy to me now that when those things happened, that I did not ever ask Patrick to co-host the show. He just would sit in the audience. I would do the show, sans sidekick.
Yeah.
And that was because Patrick, it's not that I never asked you to perform. It's just that you said I'm not a performer. And it took a fucking pandemic to get you.
It took a pandemic. We should mention the one time Patrick appeared on the show before that. Patrick was the warm-up comic on the first ever George Lucas.
That's right, and this footage is available online if you ever want to see little baby Patrick.
Little baby Patrick.
The warm-up with no preparation, and it should be said, no material, and he did very well. Patrick just needed to believe in himself. Now,
George, can I show off my shirt really quick?
You can always show off your shirt, but no, I will say this, not really quick. Take your time, baby.
Take your time.
Well, the shirt that I'm wearing came from our friend Bring the Noise, and this shirt is a reference to the Harrison Ford David Blaine video. Watto, have you seen this?
Yes, of course. I'm very into magic.
Great shirt.
Harrison's body with the orange on top, and it says "Get the F out of my house."
And truly a wonderful shirt to wear in front of people who have no idea what that's a reference to.
Yes.
But wait, hang on.
known
That's not
reality.
all for my outfit today. I bought something else that I want to wear.
This is not a surprise to me, Patrick.
This is not a surprise to you?
I mean, the content of it is, but it's not a surprise that you have more surprises.
Dump. Da-da-dum.
Dumb.
Dump. Da-da-dum.
Dum.
Dum.
Well,
Dum. Eminem. Eminem. Eminem.
Okay, I have a little surprise.
But wait. Hang on, Watto. I'm not done. I have something else. And this is something I commissioned something for this show. I commissioned something.
Oh no, the commish?
It was the commit. I got the commish. No.
You got the Michael Chiklis, you book Chiklis?
No, I got a painting of Harrison Ford in Regarding Henry holding his Ritz cracker painting. This is by Elise Brandow, so it's going to be in the background of the show today.
Oh, wonderful. And every day.
And every day, I think. This is a real painting.
That's great. What a work of that. Well, that painting belongs in a museum, Patrick.
I agree. I agree.
Are you willing to loan that, Patrick, out to loan that? Oh, fuck it. I'll just call paintings Patrick's from now on. Are you willing to loan that, Patrick, out to museums?
George?
If a legitimate museum.
George?
Yeah.
I'm willing to do anything for a price.
Hey, for the good cause. For the good cause. Can I reveal something?
Absolutely.
I'm trying to get the best image here. George, I'm feeling a little bit like a retired filmmaker myself here, trying to compose the best widescreen frame. People might be worried that Tired Watto is a little low energy. He's not a man of action. But I want to tell you that Tired Watto is, in fact, a man of adventure.
Okay.
This is a big rubber handle, and then it's this weird plush whip. And it
Wow. I do want to say, George Watto, we are at $175 so far.
We did that. That was our goal.
That's our goal. Thank you guys for watching. Bye-bye. We really appreciate it.
Gonna take it easy now. Thank you very much.
We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you guys. Have a good one. All right. We'll talk to you soon. George, you got to wrap it up.
And may the force be with you all the time.
Just kidding.
Just kidding.
We're kidding.
Ladies and gentlemen, Harrison Ford.
George, that is pointedly the Alton Ehrenreich version of Solo.
They're all Han.
Okay. Even happy Han? Even skeptical Han? Ready Han?
Happy Han's like, I like this crossbow.
Hang on, I like Ready Han. There's Ready Han.
Let George finish his Han bit describing the different faces.
I like this crossbow. I don't like you kissing your brother. Oh, what are these teddy bears?
Why is he so happy to see those teddy bears? We know he is not happy to see those teddy bears.
Not true. He loves them.
Oh, guys, what are we gonna do today? What are we excited for today? Should we come
Well, let me say this. I feel like I should say this, and not as an apology, but a note of a plea for understanding from our viewers, right?
Mm-hmm.
With the George Lucas talk show, we often are running by the seat of our pants, right?
Mm-hmm.
And best laid plans, they can be disrupted, right?
Yeah.
So we should mention we had big ambitions for this show, and we had some big bookings, and unfortunately some people have had to drop out. And Patrick, George, this might make you uncomfortable, but I feel like we should share with some of the people who've had to Drop out so they know to lower their expectations. Can I list a couple of people who've had to drop out, unfortunately?
Yeah, sure, Watto.
Carrie Fisher did, in fact, have to drop out of this show. Sidney Pollack, director of Random Hearts. In fact,
you're just trying to make Patrick laugh now. You're going right
to drop out of the show. Gene Wilder, star of The Frisco Kid,
Watto.
did, in fact,
Look at
jump
that
out.
smiling Patrick. Jesus Christ.
Dropped out of the show. Yes. A lot of cast members from Force 10 to Navarone, let's say.
Almost all.
Most of them.
Look at that. Patrick was judging this bit, knowing that eventually this would go right to his pleasure center.
Exactly, because Robert Shaw dropped out.
Yeah.
Richard Keel dropped out, right?
Yeah. Shaw a while ago, Keel more recently. Keel
Yes,
maybe more
correct.
recently than people would have realized.
Mhm.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, it happens, and it's okay. We still have a lot of really good people, and I'm very excited for a bunch of people that are coming on. So
Also, let's try and get Yoko by the end of the show. She's on
Let's try to get
Twitter. She's on social media, and I think she'd really like to show up for a Harrison Ford tribute show.
hey, if people want to tweet at Yoko, that's
Just let her know it's for a good cause, and it's all about hope. Wings of hope.
Wings of hope.
I'd also like to mention that Brian Dennehy dropped out of this show. Raul Julia dropped out of this show. Unfortunately, the great Paul Winfield dropped out of the show about 17, 18 years ago.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Should we now, from here on out, if a celebrity dies, because the problem is we're at risk every time a celebrity dies.
Everyone's at risk. We are all at risk.
No, but I'm saying every time a celebrity dies, the George Lucas talk show is at risk of getting canceled because you laugh too hard, right? So should we try to cover up those laughs with a new bit, which is every time a celebrity dies, we announce that they have dropped out of the George Lucas talk show?
Yeah, sure.
Well, let me ask this, just as a point of comedic timing.
Sure.
How long we sit on that before we make that joke? Or is that case by case? Because I feel like there's some people some public figures that when it happens, we're going to be like, we want to wait a solid 20 weeks.
I think so. It doesn't have to happen immediately, but I feel like maybe less as people are announced and more anytime we have to invoke the dead, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should also mention that Roman Polanski, director of Frantic, decided to go to a country where he could not be expedited to come onto the show.
They don't allow StreamYard there.
They don't allow it.
StreamYard is not there. Should we come up with some stretch goals?
Yes.
We should do a marathon. We should do a fundraising marathon where we bring on all the famous people who signed that petition about Polanski a decade ago. Just ask them, like, you still good?
That's a great marathon. Okay, I got $5,000.
Yeah.
Watto eats the ultimate snack.
Oh no. Me? You're gonna eat me?
You should no. Trust me. You are not the ultimate snack. I got it here. I got it right here in bed with me.
Okay.
666 Watto energy drink. Let's say
people are saying the hashtag for today's show dropped out. We never have hashtags on marathons, guys.
Yes.
You should know the rules by now.
Yes. What do you guys have any packs on hand?
Any packs?
Packs like fundraising for political?
No, like PACK trading card packs.
Oh, I do.
No packs.
I think I got a good pack. I feel like we should do a pack opening.
You ready? Look at this. Oh wait, do we want to show it or no?
Don't show it yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're making stretch goals?
Yeah, so let's make it 3,000, open the packs. Pack attack. Let's call it pack attack.
Okay.
George, do you have any stretch goals related to fruit that you're planning on eating over the next 12 hours?
Yeah, let's put well, I'm already eating little baby carrots, but those aren't related to the show. Those are unrelated to the show. Let's say at Let's go ahead and in honor of Harrison, let's make the stretch goals. Let's see if we can make them Harrison related. So I have some chopped up apples. And my first idea, which again is probably not the one we'll go with, was Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Chopped Up Apples.
Okay.
But are there more apple-centric indie film Harrison film titles?
What's
I'm looking through them.
What's the most apple-y?
K-19 the Apple Chopper?
Yeah, K-19 the Apple
Chopper. It's great.
What number do you want that to be?
Well, I've already chopped the apple up.
Yeah.
But
oh shit.
Fugitive.
Fugitive.
The Fugitive.
Yeah, Fugitive. Perfect.
Let's name it both. We're gonna name it both.
Let's say this. If George has already chopped the apple, let's make that 3,000. We have to make that closer because we don't want his apple to go bad. We want to motivate people to get that apple in his mouth soon, right?
That's great. Apple parts time. Oh.
Apple parts time.
There you go. What else we got? We got anything else?
Apple chopper to apple chomper.
Apple chomper?
Yeah.
Sure. It's an easy fix.
What an easy fix. Look at that special edition.
Easy fix, special edition.
Like walking around Java.
I mean, Bring the Noise brings up a good one. Age of Apple Time.
Ooh.
Age of Apple Time.
Age of Apple Time.
George, how many apples do you have at the ranch right now?
A lot, but I don't want to go through them.
What if every 1,000 George eats another apple?
Because
I'll have to leave the show to go deep into Skywalker Ranch. It's impossible.
Is it impossible?
How many apples do you got, George? How many
Unless
apples
you want to lose me for an hour.
How many apples do you have, George?
Right now I have this apple, but I've got to go. The apple quarter of Skywalker Ranch is basically a city away. I'm going to have to leave this building, go to another building at Skywalker Ranch.
Here's something that I thought of. Tell me what you guys think of this. I think if someone donates a certain amount of money, they can come on at any point during the day and ask one question to the person that's on.
One.
What a nice, if they donate how much?
I don't know. What do we think? 500?
Yeah, we'll call it the $500 question.
The $500 question.
Yes.
If you donate $500 and then email the George Lucas Talk Show at gmail.com, you can come in and ask one question to the guest that is on. Has to be, listen.
Yeah.
Has to be appropriate, has to be nice.
Yeah.
Has to not
don't try to come on and shock the show by doing something bad.
Don't be dumb. And if you do, we'll be mad at you forever and
we'll cut you out. We'll cut you out of the show. Yeah. We'll ruin your reputation.
Yeah.
And you're going to make the George Reportees mad.
Yeah.
You don't want to.
And you're gonna make
the ire of
and you're gonna make me very sad. We want to. Yes. I mean, you know how to behave. George Reportees are the best.
Yeah.
But everybody makes mistakes, and we don't want your mistake to be wasting your $500 on a question that makes everyone feel terrible. Because we're doing this on the fly.
Yeah. We'll come back to the stretch goals in a little bit because George Watto, we have a guest.
What?
We have a guest.
Oh.
Isn't this exciting?
Yeah.
Watto, do you want me to introduce? Do you want to introduce? How do you want this to work?
Well, I don't know. It's almost like there's a way we usually do this where the guests type their introduction in the chat and Watto reads it verbatim.
Sure. Okay. Guest, give me a thumbs up if you can figure out how to use the private chat and just type in how you want us to introduce you. If you can't figure it out, give us a thumbs down. Watto, I think we just bring in the guest. Let me introduce it. We're gonna change it up today.
Fine, if you want to change it up today.
We're gonna change it up.
Suddenly, Ryan Reynolds and Jason Bateman are on this show.
Yes, we're gonna do a change up, guys. Our guest. This is a good one to start out with. Our guest has worked with George, worked with you multiple times, and worked with Harrison. You know him as Admiral Akbar, Salacious Crumbs, Cy Snoodles in Return of the Jedi, Howard the Duck in Howard the Duck, TikTok in Return of Oz. So many different characters. Please welcome Tim Rose to the stream.
Tim!
Tim, can you hear us?
Hello, hello, Tim.
How are you?
Not really, no.
No, not really?
Can you hear me now?
No. Tim, we're talking. Can you hear us now?
I'm talking Tim.
Tim talk.
Tim.
Tim, maybe refresh and then come back. Maybe. Oh no, I think Tim's frozen.
Patrick, you were right. This is a
Should I
great
try
way to start
re-entering?
this show.
Yeah. Why don't you
Yes.
try to re-enter? Try to refresh and then come back.
This is
Built up a
going
sense of
well.
anticipation now.
This
Yes.
is going well.
People will not be able to guess who's going to come on this show next.
People will never
They'll never.
get.
They'll
Yeah,
never get.
never get to know. We're gonna figure it out. StreamYard, listen, guys. StreamYard sometimes is
Is it?
fickle.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. It is. StreamYard's very specific about the ways that you can use it,
Right.
and that is frustrating.
Yes.
It's frustrating. Anyways,
Yeah. Maybe shoot him a text, Patrick.
I can't do that. He is UK based, George.
Oh, but
Oh,
text,
I didn't know.
text in the UK.
yeah, it's illegal to text someone in the
I don't know if you
UK.
can. Here, I'm going to try to bring him back in. Let's see. Here we go.
Here we go.
Let's see. Tim,
Hello,
can
Tim.
you hear us now, Tim? Oh boy,
Better?
So
Can-
intense.
you seem to be frozen. Can you hear us? Okay.
Not getting enough of you through.
Oh no,
Wonder if it's the router.
I don't know. How's that, Tim? You see, he came back. No, I don't know. I don't know how to fix this.
What impressive bookshelves in the back.
Those are impressive. We like the bookshelves.
And now we wait.
And now we wait.
And now we wait.
Oh, we see you moving. Can you hear us?
Hello, Tim. It's Tim time.
It's Tim time.
It's time for Tim.
Tim, can you hear us?
Tim, you see me wave?
Tim, Iswato.
Hello, Tim. It's George.
Hi, Tim. It's Patrick.
I own a junk shop on Tatooine.
Some people think that this is that we can't make this work, that it's impossible, but I think it's Tim possible, which means it is possible.
I think it's maybe Tim possible.
Yes.
I don't know.
So it's later in the afternoon for Tim right now, where he's contacting us from.
Yes.
So he's in the future. This was never going to be easy. He's in the future.
He's in the future. Maybe he's messing with the space-time continuum. The risk was that Tim would tell us things about the future and they would change the present. And so it's like the picture of Tim is fading, you know?
Yeah.
I like to think that Tim is just very thoughtful whenever whenever he comes in, he takes his time.
Maybe.
Tim, welcome back.
You're saying that Tim is still considering the first thing he's going to say on the show.
Yeah.
Tim, can you hear us? Oh no.
Great.
I think we're going to have a hard time having a conversation.
I know.
Tim? Tim, can you hear me?
No.
Yes.
Oh.
Hey, Tim, do you want to try turning off your camera and seeing if it's better if it's just the audio?
Do you see the button down below where it says stop cam? If you click that, maybe it'll work better if it's just audio.
Patrick, do a screenshot so we have a photo of Tim up, or get some photos ready to really produce the heck out of this.
All right, Tim, can you hear us? Oh, no, click it again.
That worked. Click it one more time.
It worked. All right.
We're working on it. We're trying, guys. We're trying.
I actually think these parts of the show are the parts that I cherish because they show people what it takes to make a show. This is actually instructive because oftentimes there's so much polish in a show that people think it's effortless. And the truth is that any sophisticated production will actually require a lot of effort.
Hang on. Tim, can you hear us now?
Tim, I hope you hear us. This is George.
Right, I'm on audio only with no camera.
Yeah, can you hear us, or is it still tough?
Oh no, I can hear. Yeah, pretty much hear you.
Okay,
still
great.
Crackling a little bit, but not.
Okay, we can try it this way.
Okay.
So Tim, thank you for coming on. We really appreciate it. We're psyched that you're here. Can you tell us how you got to work on Return of the Jedi?
Oh goodness, that'll take up the whole time right there.
Hey,
that's fine. We have 12 hours to fill. Tell us the story.
I had just left the Muppets. They were starting to do Fraggle Rock, and I'd asked Jim to be a puppeteer on Fraggle Rock. And he wanted me to keep doing the animatronics, but didn't want to offer me a job as a puppeteer. So I got all upset and I left the company. And I was sitting in New York City, where I had an apartment at the time, out of work, kicking myself, saying I had just left the biggest puppet company in the world when all I wanted to do was do puppets. I must be the stupidest person in the world. When a friend of mine, Mike McCormick, called me on the phone, and he'd been working with Phil Tippett in pre-production for Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
And he'd built a version of Cy Snoodles, nightclub singer.
Yeah.
And while he'd done her as a classic marionette, so he was up on a scaffolding trying to operate her, and she was so heavy he lost his balance and fell off the scaffolding and broke his arm.
Oh my God.
So he could no longer puppeteer. And he said that if I could get out to California, maybe I could take his place and I could puppeteer. So I went out there and auditioned and got a job working in Phil Tippett's workshop.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's very cool. And that was, I'm trying to think of who else. Kirk Thatcher, was he working there at that point? He was a young kid.
Oh yes, Kirk was definitely there.
Yeah. So how did they decide which characters you were going to do on the show?
Well, Mike had already been scheduled to do Salacious Crumb, and he helped build Salacious Crumb.
Yeah,
and he was meant to do Cy Snoodles. So I knew I was going to be doing those two characters.
Yeah.
And we were working on other aliens as well. And I was looking at this big redheaded alien full bodysuit character. And I said, oh, he's really cool. Who's going to do him? And they said he hadn't been cast yet. Well, that's sort of what he looked like, but okay.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
He hadn't been cast yet. And I said, well, does he appear in any of the scenes that Cy Snoodles and Salacious are in? And he said, no, he doesn't. So I said, well, can I do him as well? And Phil said that I could. And that's how I got the job of doing Admiral Akbar.
That's amazing. When you were working on the Java,
but I've got no camera now. I can't show him to you. So.
Oh yeah, a lot of.
He's good. You look great, Tim.
What can you talk to us about the being on the Jabba set? Because I imagine that must have been pretty crowded and cramped and hot and everything.
Yes. The story I like to tell about that was when Salacious was sitting in front of Jabba the Hutt, I had to be inside of Jabba's throne.
Mm-hmm.
And it was designed so they could roll forward and backwards, so we could go forward and look into the Rancor pit to see the Rancor pit monster eating his victims.
Yeah.
But the only way to get inside the throne, when it was back, the set had a tank that was under the floor. So I would have to climb down into the tank, and then the throne would be wheeled backwards, and I could climb a ladder to get inside of the throne pedestal, and then it would be rolled forward again into the position that we filmed in. And so this went on, and one day the AD called lunch, and everybody ran out the door, but nobody remembered to roll the throne backwards before they went out the door.
Oh my gosh. Oh my
So I got to spend all lunch in the dark inside the throne while everybody else was at lunch.
Did you have any interaction with George? I know you're seeing George right now, of course, but was there much interaction on set with him?
And you saw my George look too there before I had to go off camera.
Yes, you had the great beard.
That's right.
I had quite a fun. I was trying to think. It was a convention in America, and one of the fans had found out when I was flying in for the convention, so they were sort of hanging out. There was an area downstairs where the baggage claim was, but they were hanging out upstairs so that they didn't get seen or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I had what I call my winter look. I only have my beard in the winter time. So I had my winter look on, and I was standing with the promoter for the convention. And this fan looked down over the sets and saw it. And he proceeded to put out on Facebook and everything else that George Lucas was coming to the convention because he'd seen him at the airport. But of course, it wasn't George Lucas. It was me.
It was you. It was you. And that's still good.
Yeah. George and I built a chicken coop in Valinas one time.
Bok, bok.
I did a movie called Return to Oz.
Yeah.
It was written
TikTok.
TikTok, bok, bok.
That was it.
TikTok.
Yes, did TikTok.
Yeah.
And Walter got us all out to his place in Bolinas because we were going to do an American-style barn raising. His wife wanted to have horse riding classes, so we helped build a barn for this horse riding class that she was doing.
Not unlike the scene in Witness,
George,
starring Harrison Ford.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. And so we were all there, and George Lucas was there, and we had some wood left over. So we decided that we would build a chicken coop. And we were building this chicken coop, and George thought it'd be really good to put this big heart shape in the door of the chicken coop.
Yeah.
And I was looking around at everybody else. I grew up on farms and things, so I was looking around at everybody else, and nobody was saying anything. So I said, okay, we'll just leave it. And he cut this big heart-shaped window in the front door of the chicken coop, and then he had to go and leave and go back to work. And I thought, well, there it is. There's the problem right there, because nobody was willing to tell George Lucas that you don't cut a big heart-shaped window in the front door of a chicken coop unless you want the weasels to eat all your chickens.
Oh my gosh.
Because if George wants a heart-shaped door, George gets a heart-shaped door.
Of course.
Everyone deserves to be loved.
It's one of my favorite memories because it was one of the days when we were all just being ourselves,
Yeah.
Somebody being the director.
I'd do it again. I'd do it again too. I'd make the heart. I'd make more hearts, bigger hearts.
Yeah.
Can you talk to us? One of our favorite movies on this show is Howard, and you worked on Howard a lot. Do you have any memories from working on that, or any Leah Thompson memories, anything like that?
Oh, yeah, I've got Leah Thompson memories. Yeah.
We love Leah.
So, you know, I mean,
Yeah. George,
lovely, lovely.
George should show off his jacket.
I keep hoping Leah and I will end up at the same convention, because I haven't seen her since we worked on Howard the Duck.
Yeah.
I've got that jacket.
Great jacket.
How much do they sell for now? I might be getting rid of one. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I'll see if there's any for sale right now.
I believe there is one on eBay right now for $1,000, Tim.
You're joking.
I believe that. Yeah.
No.
Last time I checked, there was one for $1,000 up there.
Yeah,
I had
this one was several $100.
This was a long time ago. This was back in the late 80s or early 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And some kid from America had gotten a hold of the crew list, and he was contacting all the British crew members who'd worked on Return of the Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
What?
Here, let me bring it back up.
Okay.
There we go. Look at that. $1,000 right now on eBay.
So,
but you can make an offer.
Oh, that's just silly.
Yeah.
I know it looks good, but it's synthetic, so you do tend to sweat in it if you wear it too long. That's what I discovered.
You wear it too much.
It's a great graphic.
Yeah.
Anyway, this kid was contacting everybody on the crew list, and he got a hold of my phone number somehow, and he was talking to me. And while he was talking to me on the phone, I heard his father come into the room, and he goes, "God damn it, are you on that phone again? Do you know what you've cost me?" Because he'd been calling international phone numbers all the time. So he'd run like $300-400 phone bill up on his dad, talking to anybody he could who'd ever on Return of the Jedi. You know?
Yeah.
So I felt really sorry for the kid, because he'd gotten in such trouble with his dad. And I wasn't doing anything with it. I was using it to repaint the house. So I sent him my Revenge of the Jedi t-shirt.
Oh, man.
And he said, "Oh, man, thank you very much." And even back then, that was $700.
Yeah.
I had no idea these things would have value, you know. So
that's so funny. Do you
no, go
ahead,
I have a question for Tim. Don't be a question hog, Patrick.
Go ahead, Wada.
Tim, I find it very interesting that the 3 characters you puppeteered in Return of the Jedi, in addition to all being iconic in their own right, represent 3 different types of puppetry. Like Salacious Crumb is more of a traditional hand puppet, and Admiral Akbar is like an animatronic head on a real person. Do you have preferences of what kind of puppetry you like the most, or do you like the challenge every time?
I like all the challenges. I mean, Sice Noodles, a nightclub singer, I invented her system of puppeteering. I called her a reverse string marionette.
Oh, wow.
Because my friend had fallen off the scaffolding trying to do her as a classic marionette, I hung her from, do you call it bungee cord? You know, elastic cord.
Yeah.
So her weight was held that, and Mike Quinn operated from over the top with that. And then I actually pulled her down onto the set and had rods to my feet, which then made her legs dance and everything. So that was, it was a form of puppetry that I'd never seen before, but it just worked out for what I was wanting to do at the time.
Safer.
So I really enjoyed, there you go. So
I
really enjoyed coming up with original ways to do it. What upsets me about that was Mike and I rehearsed for a good week and a half, but she was very hard to control. So we got it so we could do a really spot on performance about 1 out of every 12 times we tried to do it. Now, if you were doing something for Jim Henson, he'd let you do 30 takes just to get it right. Unfortunately, we did it for Richard Marquand, and I caught one of the wires during the take. And after the first take, he said, "Moving on." And I said, "Oh, please, God, don't let that be the performance people see."
Yeah. Yeah.
And so he gave us a second take, but that was it. And so nobody ever got to see the 12th take. Nobody ever got to see what she could do when everything was coordinated together properly.
Sure.
Well,
and that was very frustrating for me.
Now,
and
Tim, how do you feel?
To
How do you feel with the fact that in the special editions now, you voiced the concern, please don't let that be the take that people see. But now, did you feel betrayed when the special editions digitally replaced Seiss Noodles with CGI?
Yeah, I don't know why she got so fat.
CGI tends to add a lot of weight.
It's billions of ones and zeros.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Patrick.
No, go ahead, George. Go ahead.
Did you get any warning when the special editions? I don't remember if I informed anybody that I was going to be replacing so many performances like that. So many of the practical effects were replaced by digital ones. When did you first learn about that?
Oh, that she had become digital when I saw it on a video.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough to have that talk when a good friend decides to become digital. It's always a difficult conversation for both parties.
Yeah. Now, Tim, you came back for the sequel trilogy. What improvements did they make on Akbar's costume and head and everything? Was it easier to use now, or what was the differences?
Oh, it was huge.
Yeah.
It was 30 years. The original Akbar, the full body suit, had a cable-controlled mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a bit of an eye blink in it. But most of the stuff that you saw was a hand puppet that I had designed and built for Akbar.
Sure.
And then with the new Akbar, I now had my little carbon fiber helmet on. My head was surrounded by 38 servos. Mark Jeffries, a guy that I'd puppeteered with for years, was running the face. So I was now doing the body movements and he was running the face. And we were trying to coordinate together. So it was if you imagine putting your head inside a budgie cage and having 38 birds all singing in your ears while you're trying to hear the lines and react to what the director's saying. And so
that's wild. When you were doing it on set, did you have a different voice that you were using? Were you surprised by the voice that they ended up using in the movie, or were you lip syncing to a track that they had already done?
I was happy with the voice they ended up using in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
As you can see, I was about 23 years old or 24 years old at the time. And I was definitely trying to play the commander. So in my mind, I must have been in my mid-50s.
Sure.
But of course, 23-year-old trying to do a mid-50s voice isn't that easy. So
yeah,
I like it's one of the things that I love about the puppets is the fact that very few of them are just one person.
Mm-hmm.
They're all a group working together to create something better than the individual parts.
Sure.
So it's getting to work with Eric Bowersfeld, who is a great voiceover artist, was great. Having Mike Quinn help me make the mouth move while I was saying the dialogue was great. It was all just part of what we'd done with Muppets for years. So, it wasn't, it didn't bother me. I don't need to be the soul thing, the soul creation, so.
Watto, I want to let you ask some questions because I feel like I'm stealing Watto time.
Oh, so now you're pawning off the question time to Watto.
Yeah.
Tim, I want to ask you about the Dark Crystal.
Mm-hmm.
That was your first movie, is that correct?
No.
Oh.
Only yesterday I had posters from the Dark Crystal. I get at the moment with all this lock-in, I'm being sent things to sign.
Yeah.
Dark Crystal, but I also had the poster for Great Muppet Caper.
Yeah, you worked on Caper,
and the first
right?
movie
of course,
I ever did.
Of course, yes.
Hey, a movie.
What did you?
Made that. We were working on the Dark Crystal, but we filmed the Great Muppet Caper before the Dark Crystal. So.
Mm-hmm. What were do you remember any specific stuff that you did in Great Muppet Caper?
You're going to have to say that one again.
Yeah, what were your favorite things that you did in the Great Muppet Caper? Was there anything specific that you're really proud of?
We had lots of things. I mean,
what was it like? What was it like working in the Happiness Hotel?
He built. Well, that's why I was laughing, because I made the rats that carried in all the luggage for the Happiness Hotel.
Yeah.
But one of the things that we had the most fun with was the hot air balloon, because we had radio controlled Kermit, Fozzie, and Gonzo in the balloon, and they were full animatronics.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the Dark Crystal, Jen and Kira, even when they were hand puppets, they had radio controlled eyes. But those three characters, when they were in the hot air balloon or on their bicycles or whatever, they were fully animatronics. So they were doubles of the puppets. Sure. And we were quite proud of how good a job we did of copying the puppeteers' movements.
Yeah. There they are. That's exciting. And that shot.
Go ahead. There you go. Look at that. You guys are good. Okay, we'll keep that picture on. I shall tell you a story.
Yes.
Wonderful.
We had 2 helicopters that followed the hot air balloon. We were in out in the desert by Yuma, I think, Arizona. Mm-hmm. And the one helicopter had a chair sitting underneath it, and the cameraman sat in the chair. And the other helicopter had Dave Golds and Jim and Frank Oz in it. Mm-hmm. And they were operating the radio controls to make the puppets move. So we're listening to everything over the walkie-talkie system. And these helicopter pilots, in those days, they were all Vietnam veterans. Mm-hmm. So they were very serious people.
Sure.
They were having fun because they were doing something fun for a change instead of trying to save people's lives, But anyway, So they were very serious people. And we heard over the walkie-talkies Jim say to him, "God damn it, I've spent all this money on these puppets and I can't see them on camera. You have to go closer." And the second helicopter pilot who was flying the camera said, "I don't think that's a good idea, sir." And he said, "Well, you got to get closer because I can't see him." And of course, being used to following orders, he said, "Okay, sir." And he flew in closer to prove that what he was trying to explain was if you got too close to a hot air balloon with a helicopter, the prop wash would knock all the air out of the hot air balloon.
Oh my God.
So he flew in closer. The air got knocked out of the balloon, and our very expensive animatronic figures went from 400 foot up in the air to crash into the desert.
Oh.
So Jim's helicopter came back down and landed and came running over to where we were already trying to assess the damage
Yeah.
with what was left of our characters in the hot air balloon.
Did you guys
And he
have
said,
backups or
so he came over and he said, "Do you guys think you can fix this by tomorrow morning?" And we just looked at him and we said, "We can but try, sir."
Wow. Wow.
And we proceeded to, I describe it as the rock and roll night because we turned the hotel room into, looked like a rock and roll band had been in there because we devastated the hotel room, but we got all the figures working again. So,
oh my God. Oh my gosh.
Tim, the question I wanted to ask you about the Dark Crystal is how that production was different working only with puppets. That's, such a unique movie for having no human characters. You just have different types of puppets sharing screens. How did that change the feeling of the production and the flow of the workday? And the performances themselves, maybe.
Well, Jim wanted this movie to be good. He took massive risks. It was something he wanted to do was a movie that was entirely puppets and no people. And I don't know if you've read any of the stories over the years, but he actually ended up having to buy the rights to the movie back himself because the producers were going to stop the production.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I think
Well,
this
that's
is
me inside. I can't work out who's doing my arm.
Yeah.
That's somebody else doing my arm. I can't remember who that is.
That looks like one of the cops
Anyway,
from PHX.
Yeah.
What was wonderful about Jim was that he had what he called the magic moment. And especially when these characters, like my character, it would take up to 3 people just to operate it fully. The ritual master, the I can't think of his name. Like the character Dave Golds did, took 6 puppeteers to operate him. So it takes a lot of coordination. Whenever you're coordinating that number of people, you get a lot of mistakes as well.
Sure.
But Jim would do however many takes it took to get things perfect, to get the magic moment. And all of his movies are edited together sequences of magic moments, some of which took up to, well, my favorite one, we talked about the Great Muppet Caper.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a scene where Miss Piggy was in Diana Rigg's office and she had the room to herself and she was pretending she was the boss and she danced across the room and fell over the desk and into the chair.
Mm-hmm.
We did 78 takes of that scene, and Frank hadn't gotten it right. He was a very particular performer. It had to be right or he wouldn't let you move on,
Yeah.
So Jim decided that Frank was getting worried by seeing the clapperboard and how many takes it was. So he was feeling guilty about the time and money it was costing.
Yeah.
So he had them change the clapperboard and call it a new scene, take 1. And when we called it a new scene take one, we did 38 takes of that. So 76 and 38 was 100 and some odd takes to finally get the Frank wanted in the movie.
Yeah.
So that's what, and that was the difference between working with Jim as the director or working with somebody else as the director.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you came back after Jim had passed, and you worked on Muppet Christmas Carol. Is that right?
Muppets Christmas Carol, yeah.
Yeah. What was the experience on set there? Because obviously it's like a new era for that whole group that they lost Jim and lost Richard and a bunch of people. What was the vibe on set like there?
It was really good because we felt like we were doing the proper thing, if you know what I mean. We were all doing the way Jim would have wanted it done.
Sure.
So we really enjoyed working on that one.
That's really
Tim
good.
you worked on Labyrinth, right, Tim?
The story I had on that one.
Yeah.
By this time, I had lost my marriage due to never being home.
Sure.
Came home from a location and said, "We're so used to you not being in the house. Why don't you just stay out of the house?" That sort of thing.
Sure.
Anyway, I was working away, and these guys came up, and they had these really sort of broad Australian, New Zealand accents and everything. And they asked me what I was doing after the movie. And I said, "Oh, well, looking for the next job. I'm freelance, all that."
Yeah.
They said, "Well, would you come work for us?" And I said, "I don't know. What's the project?" And they said, "Oh, we're working in New Zealand." I said, "New Zealand? I'd never been there. That'd be great. How long for?" And they said, 4 years. And I said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I can't do that. I made a promise to my children that I would never go away for more than 3 months at a time."
Yeah.
So I turned down the chance to work on Lord of the Rings.
Oh my gosh. What would you have been working
for?
Yeah.
Were you supposed to puppeteer Elijah Wood? Which character would you have done in Lord of the Rings?
We'll do an animatronics stuff. I'm an animatronics designer, so
sure. Wow.
Doing
I would
the
have tried to get to
monsters and
perform
stuff.
something too, of course.
Yeah.
Tim,
going back to Dark Crystal for a second, you talked about how difficult the production was.
Up to the... okay. Sorry.
We have to go back. We have to. Tim, you were saying
I was set up downstairs in front of my Labyrinth poster that had "Thank you, Tim" from Jim Henson signed on it.
Wow.
But unfortunately, you couldn't see that because I've had to turn my camera off and I've had to.
Yeah.
Oh, we can imagine.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
You can imagine.
When he was alive, it was the days of King Arthur's court. He was the best boss you could ever have. Yeah. Instead of telling you what to do, he would ask everybody what they thought we should do. And then he'd listen to everybody's opinion and then choose what he thought was the best direction out of that whole hodgepodge. But, if you got a room full of creative people, why shut them all up and tell them what to do?
Yeah.
Let them talk.
Yeah.
Tim, I've always heard you said the production on Dark Crystal was difficult, and Jim had to buy the movie back from the studio. I've always heard that one of the disagreements was that the Skeksis were supposed to not speak originally, that those scenes were shot without dialogue, and it was later that they added human English into those scenes. Is that true?
Yes. We when we shot the scenes, we shot them in English, but when they overvoiced everything, because everything was overvoiced on that, they did it all in the foreign language. They had a foreign language specialist. He'd oh, I forget, it was a cross between Mayan and some other ancient language that he used for the Skeksis. But when they showed test screenings of the movie, they said, "Oh, come on, Jim, give him half a chance." It's like you're trying to jump a star too far here. It's going to be hard enough for these people just watching this movie the way it is, with so many new and unusual looking things, to ask them to do the subtitles as well just to find out what's going on is too much. It's too much to ask them. So he backed off and it went back to English. Yes.
Sure. You worked on Rogue One too. Did you play Mon Calamari in that?
I was Shoreland.
Yeah. How was that experience? Working on one that was, I don't know, it was different. You were playing a new character. It was not coming back to an old character. Was that exciting for you?
Yeah, no, I was quite excited that there was still calamari around, and actually they were pre-calamari if we look at the whole thing historically, but in terms of filming, they were still using calamari. And the director, the first day we came in there, we were sitting there, and he turned to me and he said, "Oh, I really liked what you did in the Return of the Jedi and that, but I've got bad news for you, that you're going to die." And I said, we weren't allowed to read the scripts. We only got given what we were filming on the day. So I said to him, well, okay, we died, but are we successful with our mission?
Yeah.
He said, well, I shouldn't really say anything, but yes, you are. I said, well, that's good. That's all the calamari cares about, is whether he does the mission, whether he dies himself. I consider we were more like ants than like people. We were there for the big picture, not for our own picture. So
sure.
My favorite story of being a calamari on that was that my friend Aiden, we're both the same age, and we were both the two background guys to Admiral Rotus. We were, in the capsule together, and we shot a death scene that you never got to see because they suddenly realized that they'd spent more time establishing our ship than any of the others.
Yeah.
So if we had just been blown up by the Death Star, where did Darth Vader come to?
Sure.
But we shot our scene. And when we shot it, we did classic Star Trek. It was he tilted, the director tilted the camera left and we all fell right. And he tilted the camera right and we all fell left. And we did this sort of thing, you know. Shouted explosion, and we reacted to the explosions.
That's amazing.
We did it, and he shouted explosion, and out of the corner of my nostril, which is all you can see out of on those, I saw Aiden on the other side of the set there. He'd blown himself right out of the seat over the back of his chair and went onto the ground. So I said, right, you're not going to have a better death than me, so on the next take. When they shouted explosion, I flew all the way out of my chair and I landed across the back of Rotus's pole arm on his chair, and it looked like I'd broken my back, and I just sort of slid down the arm, dead. But I had rather overexerted myself. And when those costumes, you just have a little scrim at the back of the mouth, which you can only breathe out of if they have the mouth open. And I couldn't get enough air into the costume.
Wow.
So I got up and went to the AD, because we were up on a raised set, so all of our assistants and handlers were all quite a long way away from us. So I went to the first AD, it was the third AD who was up on set hiding behind a bit of the set. I said, I need my assistant. I need air blown in my costume, please, right now.
Yeah.
And he just looked at me. He said, we're not finished filming set yet. Go sit down. And I said, you don't understand. I'm going to die in here. And I was literally suffocating to death at the time I was talking to him. So I then got some air blown in my mask. But
do you think
yeah,
do you think they'll ever figure out a way to help you guys be a little bit more comfortable in there, or is that just part of the gig at this point?
I think that would cost more money than they would want to spend.
Sure.
Sure. Tim, I'm curious if you have any.
If anything, it's gotten worse. I mean, there was a time when we had sort of established with full body suits that 45 minutes was the longest you should ask anybody to endure one of these things.
Yeah.
On this day when I couldn't breathe at the end of 6.5 solid hours of filming.
Yeah, I think
at the age of 61.
Yeah.
I think the solution that has been worked out is to have more CGI characters because it's easier to breathe. It's easier to breathe when the character is completely digital. Do you have any?
It was nicer for me, actually. Admiral Rodas, not only could he not breathe, but he couldn't see either.
Wow.
So he was in complete sensory deprivation. He was in total pitch blackness for 6.5 hours in his costume.
Oh my God.
Wow. But the mission was successful. So that's really what's important.
Mission was we got the key off the planet.
You did. You did a good job, Tim.
Now, Tim, a two-pronged question. I'm wondering if you could share with us any David Bowie memories that you have, and relevant to the day, any Harrison Ford memories that you might have from working on Jedi.
Any
David Bowie
memories, and what was the second bit?
Harrison Ford.
Oh, and Harrison Ford. Okay. Well, my favorite story about David, when he first started working on the set, he had a personal minder that we nicknamed the Bulldog. And she came around to us and she said, when Mr. Bowie is sitting in his chair, that means he's trying to rest or learn his lines, and he's not to be talked to and he's not to be bothered, and you shouldn't distract him. And when Mr. Bowie is doing this, then you shouldn't do any of this. But of course, he was talking to all these people who had worked on the Muppet Show with every name you could name anyway. So every time David went to sit in his chair, we'd all run over to him. Would you want a cup of tea, David? Anything else you want to, all this sort of thing. Anyway, he decided that he was having such a great time with us that after 3 days, his minder was no longer around.
Oh,
he didn't feel that he needed protecting from.
Yeah,
he was enjoying himself so much on the set. So
that's great.
That's good.
And what about Harrison?
Story I love to tell to people because they always think that rich and famous people are so lucky. David got his son Zowie a job working with us in the creature shop. And because he was David Bowie's son, we worked with him, but he was always slightly aloof. And every Friday night, he would just disappear. So one Friday, we were all going to the pub as we normally do. And I said, come on, guys, let's ask him. He might come to the pub. I don't know. We just sort of assumed that when he walked out the door on Friday, he was going to get on his helicopter and fly up to his dad's place in Scotland,
Yeah.
So we said, I don't know, you never expressed an interest, but we're just going to the pub. If you want to hang out at the pub, that's fine. And went, oh, yeah, sure, I'll come to the pub, So we got to the pub and we all got drinking a bit and everything. And finally somebody said, if we hadn't asked you to come to the pub, what would you be doing tonight? He said, well, normally on Fridays, I go to the library and I check out some books I like to read, and I check out a few books to read over the weekend until I come back to work again.
Yeah.
And the kid was shockingly, amazingly lonely. The son of one of the most famous guys in the world.
Yeah.
Because that's the reality, not the fantasy of the situations. You know,
Yeah.
so.
What about, do you have any good Harrison stories? I know I've heard one from Jedi, but
No, I don't tell that story anymore.
okay, that's good. That's good.
People get
Uh,
the wrong impression about it.
yeah, I get that. I get that.
I think
That makes sense.
I think that he and I have an awful lot in common because we love doing our jobs, but
Yeah.
along with our job comes the political side,
Sure.
which is not fun. And from what I've read, Harrison, like me, would rather be in our workshops making something
Yeah.
than be at one of these dinners having to hobnob with the schnobs, you know. So.
Sure. What have you been doing during quarantine to keep yourself busy?
Oh, I haven't. I can hear my wife laughing off in there. I've grown grotesquely fat. We're working our way through all the box sets we can work our way through.
Yeah. Yeah.
I go up to my workshop and push a few things around and repair a few things, and then come back and light the wood stove and sit down for another box set.
Yeah, that's great. Tim, thank you so much.
Ozark, you know, we're behind the curve. Just saw Ozark, so
that's great. People love that. Tim, thank you for coming on.
Good.
This has been great. We really appreciate it.
Yes, thanks,
You're
Tim.
welcome.
It's been nice catching up.
Thank you, Tim.
Don't let the weasels in, Tim.
I'm sorry, my system
No, it's okay.
is so weak.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It happens. We appreciate you coming on regardless. Stay safe and
we'll fiber broadband, but I'm too far out of town. They can't do fiber yet. So
that makes sense. That makes sense. All right. Stay safe, Tim. We'll talk soon.
Bye, Tim.
All right. Nice talking with you.
Bye-bye.
What a nice guy.
What a good guy. That was
a good guy. It was like someone said in the chat, it feels appropriate that Tim was audio only, because so often he was puppeteering these characters, but didn't get to give him a voice. And then today he was our voice.
Yeah, all voice.
Can we check the spreadsheet and see how we're doing on fundraising?
We are currently at, you're not going to believe this, George. We've raised 1,138.
Yeah.
Hey, that's perfect. And you know what that means.
Show it.
Yes, let me bring this up. This is where we are at right now.
That's amazing. Wow. That's amazing. We did that without even trying.
Yeah.
1138 1138. The best number ever made. The best number ever made. There's no number like 1138. Yes. There never has been. There never will be. If you haven't, anyone ever asks you what your favorite number is, do not hesitate. Tell them 1138. That number is so great.
That's very funny.
This donation number was fated.
Okay, make Watto full screen.
Okay, and then I do have a guest to bring in 1 second, Watto.
It's time. The orange edition.
Okay.
All right. Good stuff. Good stuff.
All right, George, Watto. I'm gonna bring in our next guest. I'm very excited for this one. Our guest. You know him, I mean, primarily for this show, since we're talking about Harrison Ford, you know him as General Veers in The Empire Strikes Back and as Walter Donovan in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Please welcome Julian Glover to the stream. Julian, how are you?
Hello, Julian.
I'm very good, thank you very much. Different time of day from you, of course. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon for me.
Yes.
It's not a nice day. But then it is winter, so don't expect it to be a nice day.
Yes, it is. It's beautiful, isn't it?
Oh, my wife is telling me it's beautiful. Yes, got all that wrong. Let's start again.
That's okay. We're all stuck inside. We don't know what the weather's like. It's okay. How have you been doing in quarantine? Have you been staying sane, staying healthy?
Well, you know, I'm an old man, so I've been indoors pretty well since March, and
Yeah.
I'm pretty used to it. I'm blessed, however, and so is my wife, that we've discovered that we really like each other, and so it's made this period very tolerable indeed.
Yeah.
So our rows are pretty minor things, like where did you put the toothpaste? Nothing major at all.
Yeah.
So I've been very fortunate. I've had both my injections, and
Oh, that's
my
great.
wife,
Congratulations.
you're too young for your injections.
Well, Julian, I'm diabetic, so I'm getting my injection next week.
Oh, you're what? What are you?
I'm diabetic.
Diabetic. Oh, you're getting it next week.
I'm getting it
Famous
on
diabetic.
Friday.
Are you doing 1 or 2 injections?
I'm just getting the first one, and then I'll probably get the next one a few weeks later.
The 2 is the regular thing.
Yeah. So we're almost there.
I'm sure that George Lucas there is.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. Don't worry about me. I'll be okay.
Cut through the red tape.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Now, Julian, how did you first get involved with George? When did you first meet George?
Well, I've only met him once.
Oh wow.
Hi, George.
Hi, how you doing?
He came down when we were shooting Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
I'm on the wrong film. You see, I'm a multi-person. He came down and to see Harrison, actually. Obviously, I think he wanted to talk about money. Anyway, but he was there in the commissary after lunch today, and we had a very comfortable, nice little chat about this, that, and the other. I think he was being quite pleased with what I was doing in the film, and so I felt happy and satisfied with him. And I think he's a bit of a genius, frankly.
Thank you.
I don't wish to flatter you while you're on screen, sir, but I think look what he's done. Look what he's produced.
Yeah.
It's remarkable what he's produced, and the whole spectrum of what he's done is absolutely enormous. I think deserves a great deal of respect. I know nothing of him as a private man, but for his work and his affability to me, I'm on his side.
I mean, we'll say this: now is your chance to get to know him as a private man. He's right here, so
yeah. And I'm on your side as well. I have tremendous respect for your talent, sir.
Well, thank you very much, Mr.
George. Just call me George. I'm going to call you Julian. You can call me George.
So you worked? I mean, you weren't in any scenes with Harrison in Empire, but then you went on to work with him in Last Crusade.
Yeah.
How did that job come about? Was it similar people who worked on Empire and Last Crusade, or did you audition?
Well, Last Crusade, yes, I did audition. Actually, I auditioned for that steely-eyed German colonel.
Yeah.
Played by Byrne.
Mm-hmm.
And I went in for that and didn't get it. And I came back home, and my agent rang me within a few hours, which was quite quick. Hello, there's someone with a nose there.
Oh yes, this is
why. Hello. Yes, hello. Julian, big fan. Thank you for being on this show.
He said I didn't get that. However, he said, I said, oh God, who did get it? And he said, Michael Byrne. And I said, absolutely honestly, he is so much better for that than I am.
Yeah.
Steely blue eyes, and wasn't he good? I mean, he looked fantastic in that uniform. He said, however, they want to see you for Walter Donovan. So they picked me off the floor. My wife picked me off the floor, and I said, Walter Donovan? They said, yes, we want to see you for it. Oh, crikey. So the next day I went along to see it. When I did a thing, I talked in a thing called an American accent.
Yes.
Generalized sort of thing. And by God, I got it. And
yeah.
simply couldn't believe it that I got this wonderful part just by going up and seeing someone and doing a phony accent. Then I started to work and of course I did. I hope I did it properly. Well, I have. Can I tell my little story about the accent?
Yes, definitely. Tell the story.
We were just shooting that big sequence in the desert with a tank and all that stuff, and I'd fulfilled my life's ambition of standing standing up at the turret of the tank, pointing forward. Like generals do in films.
Yes.
I'd fulfilled that ambition, and at the end, Steve Spielberg said to me, "Julian, your American accent, it's so good. I think you'll never stop making American films after this." I've never made one since.
That's very funny.
Julian, I have a very deep cut question for you.
Sure.
This is a project I don't know if anyone's ever asked you about before. You did a voiceover role in the American dub of a film I have truly never met another person who's seen, called Strings.
Yeah.
Do you remember doing this film?
No, I don't.
I don't know what this is, Wada.
What is this, Wada?
Let me say, I've done a lot of because excuse my grandfather clock.
No.
It's wonderful. We've never had a grandfather clock on the show before.
Actor has a sort of duty to help if they can people who are coming up in the business. Mm-hmm. And so I've done a lot of films. I don't know whether I was any help of aspirant film directors, and I've done a lot of them. I mean, I could count on. I must have done 20 or so of those films which you never see the light of day, except suddenly Strings has seen the light of day, and they occasionally pop up, things like that. But
yeah.
No, did you see Strings?
I did. I own it. It's a great movie. It's a Danish marionette epic. It's a fantasy film.
What do I play in it?
You play Caro. I believe he's the sort of king, the emperor in this universe. It's all puppets. You do the voice of the puppet.
I did a voice.
Yes.
Yes. Now it rings a bell. I can't remember what word I said, but yes, now it rings a bell. The voice. Yeah. I certainly couldn't remember filming it. Well, thank you. It's yours. It's been successful.
Yeah.
No, I don't think anyone else saw it, but I like it.
That's what I was talking.
That's so funny. You, Julian, you are sort of the king of the sci-fi convention because you've been in. Let's go through. You've been in Star Wars. You've been in Indiana Jones, James Bond, Harry Potter. I feel like those are like the big four for conventions.
Game of Thrones.
And Game of Thrones, yes. Game of Thrones. Yes. 5, the big 5. What is the thing that people want to talk to you? What was that?
Game of Thrones I got ready by default. I think the whole of London's Actors' Equity went up to be in this great series because we could see that it was rather promising.
Yeah.
And I went up for it, and I had to do 3 auditions for different parts and didn't get them. And about a week after I hadn't got the last one, my agent rang and said that an actor called Roy Dotrice, who you might have heard of, might have seen, very fine actor, was cast in this part and had got very ill and so he couldn't do it. So would I do it? So I did it, and feeling rather guiltily, but it was all right because he got better, and later on played a smaller part, I have to say, but he played a part in Game of Thrones. So I didn't feel bad about taking over his ground, but it was purely by default that I got it. It was, well, I suppose they saw this as an old man, we need another old man, so let's get him and make him even older.
And people are also pointing out Doctor Who, so it's actually the big six.
I mean, even if you go further into the realm of TV, you have Magnum PI, you have Remington Steele, you have Lovejoy.
Yeah.
So many Doctor Who, so many legendary characters and franchises.
Yeah.
Those two American ones, the Magnum and the Remington Steele, because when they made those, it was very difficult, getting much more expensive to make this sort of thing in America, and we were a easy financial thing, much easier to come over here, pay for all that, and do the filming over here because the financial situation was better, and that's why I got those two parts in those two films. Great, because it started. Well, one of them started my not deep friendship, but for a while, quite a good friendship with Pierce Brosnan, who is one of my favorite people in the world, and I got very friendly with his then girlfriend, who very, very sadly died. And well, that was a good thing. But it was lovely to do those two series. Yes, I've done most of those old potboiler series. We young actors did a lot of that when they were going out. There were so many of them, and I think I was in most of them. I can't think of not in America, not in American ones, but certainly in British ones. I was in pretty well all of those. It got to a point where I would say to the producer that when they asked me, no, don't cast me in this because everybody will know that I did it. Recognizable.
That's so funny. What is the thing that people come up to you and ask you about the most at conventions?
Do you know, it's fine. You must have spoken to many actors who go to conventions, and it really varies. You never know which one's going to jump out next. You go along with a pile of pictures for one, and they don't touch that one. They all ask for another one. And but the four that you meant, well, no, the five that we've spotted, they all attract people from all over the world and of all ages, which is interesting. And the Star Wars phenomenon is absolutely extraordinary.
Yeah.
All ages go to that, and most of the kids, them like the 8, 9, 10, 11-year-olds, they prefer the first three films.
Yeah,
it's interesting, and they watch the other ones, of course, but they prefer the old ones, and which is good for me. I don't know if you're laughing. It's good for me because I'm in the old ones. Indiana Jones, a lot of people think of Indiana Jones as the best of the Indiana Jones films, and I personally, nothing to do with me being in it, I personally agree with that. I think
I also agree.
It had learned a lot from the previous work, and it was a rattling good story, and of course the basic never failing story of father and son, which was absolutely terrific between those two, and it was going to be all right in the end, but the battle between them was very good and very entertaining. They played like table tennis with each other. It was absolutely great. Yeah.
Was that the only time you worked with Sean Connery, or did you get to work with him on other things?
Do you know the answer to this question?
I don't.
You had a look in your eyes which said, I know this story.
No, he's just mischievous in general.
Very, very towards the beginning of my career, I'd done a lot of Shakespeare, and on television they invented, some brilliant man invented, you could never do it now, but a thing called An Age of Kings, which was Shakespeare's history plays from Richard II through to Richard III, which is a vast span of historical plays, as you probably know. And we did it in 55-minute episodes in serial form on television. And the director had a pool of young actors, about 15 of us, who were in the whole series. We all got one treat part, and very big people came in to play the others, play the leading roles. And I was absolutely determined that I was going to get, when it came to the part of Hotspur, which I thought I was terribly right for. And I really did think I was right for it, and I was pretty confident I was going to get it. And it came along, and I didn't get it. And someone who I knew as a footballer for Arsenal football team got it, and he was called Sean Connery.
Oh,
I couldn't believe they brought in this Scotsman. He was, of course, brilliant.
Yeah.
He must have been 25 at the time. All that lithe beauty of his anger and the funniness and the wryness of him. He was absolutely superb. So I had to admit defeat in that one. So when we came along to do the film together, we were very friendly indeed. We really got on superbly. And I've loved him ever since, really, as everybody had. Brought a great loss to the cinema here, and I think actually a great loss to humankind. He was a great Scotsman. He believed very strongly in the Scottish nation and fought very hard for it. And that suits me because I'm half Scottish. And well, that's me and Sean. And I also got along very well with what was his last wife, who was his assistant at that time on Indiana. So that's the story of me and Sean.
That's a good story. Watto, you sent me a picture you wanted me to show. Do you want to?
Yes, I sent a couple pictures. Julian, you have the rare distinction. You are, a deeply respected, widely honored actor. But one of your biggest bona fides is that you have twice been a Lego. By being in Indiana Jones and in Star Wars, you have twice been a Lego figurine. So that's the Lego Veers, and here's the Lego Walter Donovan, and you've even been in the Lego video games. Is that something you ever imagined in your life?
Well, I'm not the one up on the right, am I?
Yeah,
That's after you drink from the wrong grail. Yes.
Yeah, that's after you chose poorly.
Not this one, the other one. It came through the post with the compliments of whoever it was. Wasn't you, Mr. Lucas? Somebody sent it to me. I took it out of its box and I looked at it. I said to my wife, 14 seasons with the Royal Shakespeare Company, National Theatre of Great Britain, and that's my career.
That's what happens when you work with George Lucas, baby.
Yeah. You get merged. You become part of the merch. The Lego, the before and after the Lego, if people want to turn that in that would be good to be repurposed into the how it started, how it's going meme that's popular under COVID.
He looks great.
So if anyone wants to go ahead and make that work.
Yeah. Now when they were making the I don't know, the aged version of Walter Donovan, after he drinks from the Grail and turns old, did you have to go in and do the face mask and they made the cast of your face and everything?
Absolutely everything. And that carries a story too, which no doubt you know, but you're pretending you don't.
Julian, I'm good at this, Julian.
Yes, I went in about 2 months before the film and a month before and had a plaster death mask made of my face, on which they worked to do the various bits of prosthetics that they had to do with it. In fact, they used rather fewer of them than they'd planned because Spielberg is such a genius at cutting. He managed to do without a lot of the things we did, but we had to prepare for them anyway. So that took 2 days to film that sequence, that 12-second sequence, and including the hair getting longer and all things like that. And it was a very, very uncomfortable couple of days, as you can imagine, but nothing to what other actors have gone through and other things. Anyway, at the end of the picture, the props department came up to me, and by this time my face had gone through so many transformations, and I was about 185 by the time they abandoned it, went into the Sony stuff. And the props department said, "Do you want this?" I said, "Oh yeah, why not? Take it home, have a look at it." And I took it home and showed it proudly to my wife, and she said, "Oh Christ!" She said, "No, get rid of that's horrible. You look, oh God." I put it in the garage.
Yeah.
So I put it in the garage. And a few months later, we were clearing out the garage, like you do. And there it was. I said, "Oh, look, still got this." And she said, "Julian, I really can't stand it. Put it in a bin, just bin it."
Oh, no.
Where it is now, on the top of some rubbish heap somewhere. About a year or two after that, I was telling a dealer over in your country, when I was at some convention, about this. He said, "You binned it, you put it." I said, "Yes." "In the rubbish bin, you mean?" "Yes." "And it went over into a rubbish plate?" "Yes," I said. He said, "Julian, if you had that with you now, I'd give you $35,000.
Yeah. And that would be a deal. I think that is maybe 100,000, 200,000. I don't know if I'm even big. I think I'm not even sure.
That's a low ball.
It's
a low ball offer. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you said, Julian, that you and your wife like each other a lot, but you should have invoiced her at that point.
Right.
You know what? Say it again.
You should have invoiced your wife and said, "Look how much money you lost me."
Oh, sure. Oh, she's been suffering for it ever since.
Right. Well, no, that's a sign. I think that's a sign of true love. The fact that your marriage has stayed together after what that would have destroyed many marriages. That one incident would have been enough to tear apart many relationships.
I threw up my hands and said, "You can't win." And my agent in America said, "That's a great lesson to you, Julian. Never throw anything away. Throw nothing away." And so, because I'm so old as I am now, early last year I did an auction of my memorabilia, which collected me a tidy sum of money. I'm here to tell you, it was really remarkable. Because of the rubbish I kept. Somebody always wants something.
Yeah.
And like, for instance, I got my Star Wars badge of rank, which I walked off with. After the designer said, "You want this, Julian?" I said, "Yes." It was one of many, because there were different ones. I mean, it was one of those. And I got what I'm not going to say, but it was a 4-figure number for that little badge. And also, So I obeyed the rule of not throwing anything away, and made more money out of the auction than I would have done out of that mask. But of course, if I'd done that mask, I'd have made twice as much, wouldn't I?
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
Julian, you have such an accomplished career, Julian. You've been part of so many projects. We don't have the time to ask you about every film you've worked on. But I have a good friend who would never forgive me if I didn't ask you about King Ralph.
Okay. Well, I don't know really what to say. It's a long time ago, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, but you have such a good cast on that. You have Peter O'Toole and John Hurt, Richard Griffiths, Leslie Phillips. What was that set like?
Absolutely. I mean, they were all there, and also playing my wife, wonderful actress. Anyway.
Jolie Richardson?
No.
No.
Jolie in it? Jolie was in it, wasn't she?
Jolie was in it. Camille Codry?
Playing my wife was a very well-known middle-aged actress.
Judy Parfitt. Judy Parfitt.
The midwife. Anyway, it doesn't. Yes, it was a tremendously good fun shoot, and of course our leading actor was such an amusing man.
Yeah.
Very working, I'm here to tell you. I think most people who do his sort of work are very hard workers. You've got to be so on the ball and on the nail for it. But the most hair-raising moment in that was something which was nothing to do with the story, really. It was an embellishment. Your friend will remember that there's a big banquet scene, and in which all the glass falls over and does a domino thing right round the table. Well, I'm here to tell you that was the most hair-raising day. It must have taken 3 days to set up and to experiment if each part would actually hit the other one. And you know how it is with dominoes. Sometimes they don't hit the right one. They go over the side. And so we were all being bland and having this fantastic banquet and doing our talking or whatever we were doing. But in fact, our stomachs were in tight Gordian knots in case it didn't go right. Because we knew we'd have another 3 days before we could shoot that one again. And thank God it worked. And it was wonderful all the way around the table. It was absolutely terrific. But that was a terrifying thing. One of the most entertaining things about that film, you can tell your friend, was actually the company of people that you've just listed, most of whom have gone now, and who were just such great people. And fortunately, I knew them all. So we used to sit when we were off stage, when we were between shots, just swapping stories, telling stories, and about theatre and about our private lives and our non-private lives and everything one talks about when you're with a group of like-minded people, politically lined up to, and it was a very, very entertaining time. Very entertaining time. I adored making the film. With due respect to your friend, I don't think it turned out very well, that film. He was terrific in the Goodman was terrific in the leading role, and I think we were all fine.
Yes, and with all respect to my friend, he's a dang ass weirdo.
He's a weirdo.
But it's one of his favorite movies, and he would be touched to hear you share those stories.
Okay. Well, or is he watching this evening?
I'm sure he
is.
No,
he's probably asleep, but I'll send him the video later.
Julian, your wife played your wife in Last Crusade, is that right?
Absolutely.
What was that like? What was that like?
Well, it was wonderful. She wanted to come onto the set, obviously. Excuse me. When I asked Steven's permission if she might come onto the set, Steven Spielberg.
Steve.
He said yes. He said, "Why doesn't he play your wife? Why doesn't she play your wife?" Oh, right. And I told Isla, and she's a leading actress, and you wouldn't call it a leading role, but she wanted to be on there and to and to wear a nice dress and all that stuff, and she came on and she dried absolutely stone dead on her line on the first take. And she kept all he had to do, Walter, you're neglecting your guests. And she just came on and went, 4 lines to say. I've been studying them all night.
That's so funny.
So you'll have noticed have you noticed the billing at the end of the film?
No, what is the billing?
Because she's anyway. The billing at the end of the film goes as it comes up. It's Walter Donovan, Julian Glover, Mrs. Donovan, Mrs. Glover. So if you look at the billing that comes up, you'll see that.
That's very funny.
She gets her Mrs. name in there. But she's very pleased to have been in that, and we enjoyed the day. She got a good laugh.
There she is.
She cried, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Here she is, darling.
There she is.
Yes.
That's great.
Yes.
Julian, did I? No, go ahead.
Lockdown.
Sorry, say that again.
she's the one who was great help, has been a great help for me. Being
That's
locked
great.
down, I've been helpful to her too.
That's good.
Because of your meeting, of course, this meeting, we've had to postpone our Sunday lunch.
Oh, what are you going to have for lunch?
It's quite all right. I'm having a fillet steak for my lunch today.
Oh.
I'm going to have it after this meeting.
Good.
So,
Good.
When I shall have my first glass of wine.
Yes, it's time. It's time. You're almost there.
Watching my local television and myself.
Did I hear that you've written a book?
Oh, glad you brought that up. Yes, I'm writing it. Well, I've just finished it. It's the sort of thing when you go into lockdown, isn't it? In fact, it wasn't because of that. I was asked to do it beforehand, but it's not an autobiography. I never wanted to write an autobiography. You know, those I once worked with Sean Connery books. I find them tiresome, and unless they're really great people, like really leading characters like Charlton Heston or someone, or Peter O'Toole or someone who's really got, you know, a real body of stuff behind them. But because of the nature of the things that you're talking to me about, which is only one part of my career, as you know, you know, I spent most of my life in the theatre. Actually, I've been terribly lucky. I've done all these series and films and things. Over 70 films, I think I've been in. I wouldn't say I've made. I've been in. I've done a lot of theatre. The publisher said what we want is things about items about stuff that you think is significant or entertaining or whatever. And so I've now written a sort of 25 chapter. I've called them episodes because it's a theatrical term, about things like that, like Indiana Jones, like but also other ones that people might not have heard of, and also a lot of theatre ones. I call it Q to Q, and
the title
it is, and so the list at the beginning of the items in it is called a running order, and curtain speech at the end, you know, things like that. And I think it's required a great number of photographs, which I had got a lot of fun on finding and digging out. And I think it's going to be I read it again yesterday, and I thought, yes, this is entertaining. If you're not someone who is a theatre person, but you're interested in theatre and film, it's not a monumental work. It's not a study. It's not a piece of research. It's just Julian tapping on about some things that he's done, sort of in a way like we've been doing now. Not long, maybe 2 pages of text and certainly 1 full page of pictures, maybe 2 pages of pictures. It's going to be a sort of well, we call it a loo book. You know the word loo, lavatory book. You're just sitting there and you're thinking, oh yes, I saw that.
Yeah. Put it down, you flush. Yeah.
Well, it won't reach the high standards, I don't think, of a coffee table book. It won't be on gardening or carpentry or whatever it is. But I think it's going to be a book, and I'm happy with it, with what I've done with it. And so we'll see. It's now in the hands of the producer, of the publisher, who are he's putting it all together, and we'll see what. Buy it when it comes out. Q to Q.
Now, I will say, if it's published in America, if you have to promote the book to an American audience, you're going to want to be careful to make sure that people know that it's CUE, like a Q, because otherwise we're having a big problem with conspiracy theorists and Q Anonymous. You don't want people to think that it's a round table of
female anatomy. Is that what it refers to? Does it refer to the female anatomy?
No, not the female anatomy. There's a whole Trumpian conspiracy theory where they say there's some secret person in the government named Q. We're having a big problem with it over here.
That's the letter Q.
The letter Q. That's right.
Yes.
Isn't it
right?
CUE.
That's good. That's the good Q.
Yeah,
That's the good
big
Q.
difference.
Q to
big
Q.
Difference.
There's a good Q and a bad Q.
Q to Q.
Yeah.
That's exactly It's cue to speak about that. Cue to speak about that. Your turn, Julian. Cue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. No, much better. Much better. I have a better question to ask you,
Oh, great.
Julian.
Fantastic.
Yes, your son Jamie is also an actor, and Jamie has ended up working in a lot of these same franchises we talked about. He played Harry Potter on the West End. You were in the movies. He's done voices for the Star Wars video games. He was on Young Indiana Jones, the TV show.
Well, he does a lot of that. when he was asked to do the Star Wars one, they said, "You're playing this character called General Veers." He said, "But am I?" They said, "Yes, you are." He said, "Well, sorry, but my father plays that in the film." And they went, "Oh, does he?" So he got the nature of the timbre of his voice, not because he was my son, which is very
Wow.
Good casting.
I love it. See?
That's amazing.
Is it like
Enjoys it mightily because you don't have to be physically to do with these things.
Yeah.
And so he's getting quite well known for that sort of thing now. Not quite enough. I think you do well at conventions in your country because you're very, very conscious of voice artists. But Jamie is not mainly a voice artist. It's just he's got a good voice, and so it slipped over. Just advertising and things. He's got a good voice. I hope I know where he got it from. He's a fine actor. He's given me 2 wonderful granddaughters, and who we worship, and keeps as busy as anyone who is not in the pandemic. So he hasn't worked for a year, but hopefully he starts up again on a series in late April. So we're keeping fingers for it. Mind you, films are beginning to, as you must know, to open up. I did a couple of days on a film which I hadn't finished because the pandemic started, and we did them 6 weeks or so ago, and they were so careful about distancing and everything, except at the very moment when we had to meet, that I think that films are going to gradually find ways around it and pick up, and that, thank goodness for that. Theatre, we are dead, absolutely dead, because the very nature of theatre involves large numbers of people on both sides of the curtain or the camera meeting together closely, and so we're fucked, excuse my French, which is a very, very worrying thing for a lot of us. I'm an old man, I'm nearly at the end of my career, but if I hadn't had all those years of theatre, my life wouldn't have been the worst thing. It is, it's the lifeblood for most of us, and that, apart from so many other people in much worse off states than us, is the problem for all of us actors, dancers. So even musicians, you see, you can't get a whole symphony orchestra onto a stage now. You can get a large number of people, but not a symphony orchestra. You certainly can't have a pop concert. And all these musicians who are in minor bands, not the great big ones, whose livelihood is touring Europe and the continent, doing gigs everywhere, all over the place. Finished, done. So that's it. That's the arts profession. You can still do a sculpture and you can paint a picture.
That's good.
We're gearing up for a golden age of sculpture. That's the good news we're bringing today. Get your chisels out. It's safe.
Julian, we like to ask people who come on the show about their backgrounds, and I see that you have a lot of great pictures in your background. Do you mind telling us what some of these are?
Is me in Waiting for Godot.
Oh, that's great. And I like the drawing over your shoulder too.
This one, I can't find it. Where's my finger? Wrong.
Nope. This there it is.
Is a cartoon of me in a play called I don't know, a play at the National Theatre of Great Britain anyway. And And this one up here, this big one there above my head there, is a very, very old-fashioned plate, an 18th century plate of a character of many people, but of a character, a true life character called James Boswell, who was a great biographer and friend of the. Maybe some of your viewers will know Samuel Johnson, who was one of the great literary figures of the 1700s. That's that, and one of the things I'm rather proud of. The Waiting for Godot isn't of us doing Waiting for Godot. It is us doing it for a charity show which we did for Sir Peter Hall, to raise money for a new theatre he was building. So we're in sort of ordinary old clothes in this picture behind me. But I'm not going to turn the camera around and show you all the others. We'd be here all night.
Yes. Now, Watto and George, I want to let you get in some last questions because I want Julian to go be able to eat his steak. I know this is important. So are there any final parting thoughts we want to give to Julian before we let him go?
Yeah, I mean, this is a broad question, Julian, but you've talked about, you've done so many films, so many TV series, and you've done so much theater. Across all three, is there a favorite character you've ever played?
Oh, it's very difficult. In films, my favorite character ever was Walter Donovan in Indiana Jones. I mean, no question. Why not?
Yeah.
Glory, wonderful part, fantastic people to work with. Fantastic director, fantastic everything. And it paid properly. That was good. It paid
important.
Yeah.
It's difficult. James Boswell is one of the ones, a real life character, tremendous favorite of mine. And the play, well, also that cartoon I keep on trying to show you.
Yeah.
That one. From a play called The Voice of Inheritance at the National Theatre. Oh no, recent proper play I did was a Tennessee Williams play called Night of the Iguana, which you're so interested in, you're getting up and walking away from.
No, I had a car honking outside, and I wanted to close my window.
And which I played, obviously. People said, "What are you playing?" I said, "The old man." And I went, "Really?" The successful for me play was a play which nobody's ever heard of called Morris's Jubilee, which is about a man of 90, who birthday happened to coincide with the Queen's Jubilee, and who'd been in love with her since a certain event happened in their early life, and who was dying of cancer. One of the funniest plays I've ever been in, and a simply wonderful part. And so for your interest, but obviously you don't know the play, that is my favorite part I've ever played.
Good answer.
And I didn't need news for it.
Is there anything...
No, go ahead. I played the great Czechoslovakian leader, Alexander Dubček, in a drama documentary we did about the invasion of Czechoslovakia by the Russians. And I played him in that. And that was a great honor. And later on, I arranged, when the Prague Spring happened and Czechoslovakia got released from its imprisonment, I went over and I met him and we talked and watched the piece of work we'd done together and held hands. It was so moving, I cannot tell you. And then he went away and got himself killed in a car crash. Killed, I think, is the word, not died in. I think he was killed.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was a tremendous honor, and I did need a very good nose for that, but not quite so prominent as that one.
Sure.
Maybe I should have gone for something more like that. Yeah.
Yes. No. This is sort of. Yes, it's sort of a Shylock level nose. Usually, these noses do not make the stage unless you're playing Shylock or Cyrano.
Now, Julian, when you're playing when you're playing a baddie, when you're playing someone like Walter Donovan, who's a bad guy who takes he meets a bad end. Do you approach him as if he's the hero of the piece? Do you, like, what is your when you're playing someone like that? Do you think of him as the hero and Indiana Jones is the one who's in your way?
No, I don't think of him as the hero. He's someone who behaved very badly in the quest of finding something what everybody wants. And he will do anything to get it. He's got a great deal of money. He's not inherently a bad man, but he's discovered a link through to getting the Holy Grail and eternal life. And I challenge any of you three people there, what would you do for the secret of eternal life? You kill your mother. And there's no question at all about that. And that's what he wanted. So he was a bad boy. He got money and influence from the Nazis. Very bad thing to. I
think the perfect way to describe Walter Donovan is he was a bad boy. I like that.
He's a bad boy.
Right. And now, Julian, this is very crude what I'm about to show you because I only began working on it as soon as you said that sculpture was going to be the next thing. But I have made a facsimile of Walter Donovan in his final moments when he makes the pork choice. I realize this is not a great likeness, but it's the best I could do with what little resources I have within reach.
Wow. You've been making while you've been talking, have you?
Yeah, just the past 2 minutes. That's a 2-minute sculpture. We're going to sell this for charity today.
5 minutes.
Yeah. We'll sell it for charity and we'll make a lot of money off of it.
Show it to me.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. One of those things, hair?
Hair, that's the hair growing out.
My God, you have got you've got the mouth right.
Yeah.
The nose. So pretty good. I'm not sure.
Pretty good.
Well, this is do you have any other notes that you think he should change before
before I put this in the oven?
No,
and,
I'm not.
Make it.
But listen, if the lockdown lasts any longer,
go
for it properly. Will you go for it properly? And,
absolutely.
I'd like to see the result of it.
Right.
Is that okay?
Sure.
Absolutely.
And I definitely won't throw it in the bin because who knows? This could be $35,000.
Well, I'm not going to pay you $35,000.
No. And I wouldn't ask it of you, Julian. It would be a gift if I gave it to you.
Yeah, no, some nerd will pay $35,000.
Yes. Julian, how do you think Walter Donovan and his wife met?
Hadn't given it a moment's thought.
Yeah.
They met a screening of a James Bond film.
Oh, that's a good answer. That is a great answer.
After the art party of the Bond film, she was married to someone else, but very unhappily. I wasn't. I was swinging free and quite a playboy. And but we looked at each other across the room, and we knew that was it. Right?
It's amazing. It's amazing. It's a great story.
I met my wife at a rehearsal room when I looked across the room, and I was between wives at that time, and looked across the room and just thought, why do I never get anything like that? But then I did, and aren't I lucky? Here we are.
You are.
Years later.
You are.
And as happy as groups we are together.
Amazing. Julian, thank you for coming on. I hope you'll come back sometime.
Listen, I hope you go on doing well with your fund, which was a very convincing figure when I joined you.
Yeah, well, I think we're close to 2,000, and we still have like 10 hours to go, so we got a long time.
Well, there's a lot of talking to do between now and then.
Yes, a lot.
Yeah.
I wish you good fortune with all of that, and thank you very much. I'm most honored to have been with you. God bless you all.
Enjoy your lunch, and give our best to your wife.
Yeah, we have a lot of talking to do. Julian has a lot of wine and steak to do. That guy does Sunday correctly.
Yeah.
Right,
also, lunch at 6 p.m.
Go bake this. I'm going to go bake this. It has been rightly pointed out that this does look more like Rick from Rick.
Yes.
But I defy you with these 76-year-old hands and a little bit of sculpting clay to make finer hair than that.
Mhm.
Also, when you know you got a long day ahead of you anyway, I'm not going to put too much into it.
Okay, go put it in the oven.
I'm gonna go put it. I'll go.
Now, Watto.
Yes.
I'll say this. Based on the events of this morning pre-stream, we got a little bit of a break ahead of us.
More than a little bit.
Not that long. We will make it work.
Yes, but we had unfortunately a guest booked for the next slot who woke up ill. We pray that it is not anything severe. It does not seem to be, but unfortunately, it was a last-minute dropout. Can I ask a question?
And I'll say this:
this gap?
They said they will gladly come back later on, and we are working on a stream for a few months where I think they can come back.
I want to say a couple things.
Yes.
First of all,
is it about how great Julian Glover was?
No, I'll get to that eventually.
Because he was great.
I have more urgent matters about the immediate future before we can look back and talk about how good the last guest was.
He was good.
Urgent matter number one.
Yeah.
Is Watto's mic and or connection worse than usual, or was it just that we had two older guests in a foreign country with bad Wi-Fi in a row?
And I think they might not be used to your dialect, Watto.
Sure, but right now we're fine.
Yeah. And I'll say this: you were fine earlier too, so don't stress about it.
I got my points across. Okay, second, there are a lot of guests who had to bail out this time, or people who we asked who said can't make it this time, will come back another time. So I think there are a lot of exciting people who will be popping up in future, whether they're regular weeks or marathons in the future. Now, can I say my third order of business?
Absolutely.
Man, Julian Glover was such a great guest.
He was great. And I should say, I meant to bring this up earlier. His agency did make a promo code for us. If you guys want to get autographs or a video call or anything from Julian, if you go to the allianceagents.com and use promo code, and this is real, George Lucas, you will get a good 15% off discount, which is great.
You know it's a real promo code because I'm really George Lucas.
You're really George Lucas.
One thing proves the other.
Yeah.
You know that I'm George Lucas. That's a real promo code.
You know, like, what is the clearest proof that Julian Glover was one of the classiest guests we've ever had?
What?
Do you know what I'm about to say?
No, but there's a few things.
I'm not going to, you can say the other things. I'm not going to make a joke here. Jersey Dave just typed in the chat, Julian fucking ruled. Jersey Dave rarely editorializes on guests. No. You have to really hit it out of the park to get that response out of Jersey Dave.
Famously tight-lipped with his praise for guests.
He honestly, normally, we're like, maybe he doesn't even like the show, because he doesn't usually say.
I know he likes the show, or he wouldn't work on it. I sometimes wonder if he likes our guests.
Good question.
It's also, look, to be honest, sometimes I question, is Jersey Dave just in this for the money? Is he doing George Lucas Talk Show just because it's an easy paycheck? Great. So now we only have an hour and 10 minutes left to fill.
All right. So but it's not a break because this is where the show really gets cooking.
George Watto.
This is where.
But let's say this: should we do a like we have the $500 come on and ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
Should we set a money where if someone pays it, they can come on and hang out with us for a little bit?
I think it has to be a very high number. I think what you've just suggested is a real Pandora's box situation. And so if we're going to allow that to happen, it has to be an unreasonably high number.
Also, I want to say this, but then also, Watto, the danger of that is we'll get some rich asshole, some Martin Shkreli,
some Walter Donovan.
Yeah.
Thank you. You got there. I was going to make the joke, but I was busy plugging something in.
What are you plugging in?
I was plugging in my backup headphones for when these headphones run out of battery.
But Patrick, the question I want to ask is this: is why are you? We understand why you book so many great guests for the show because that's part of your
We
job.
get it. It's your job.
But part of me, I start to worry.
Oh no! Did you see that?
You saved it.
That was a real. Look at this. Short round almost fell.
Oh no! Hold on to your potatoes.
Hold on to my potatoes.
Glasses. Baby Yoda tried to kill Short Round.
Yoda tried to kill Short Round.
And you know he probably. Baby Yoda will eat your eggs and he will kill Short Round. Please no fan art of that. It will look like hate speech. The Patrick.
Yeah, George.
Patrick, what's this? This isn't broadcasting.
Patrick, what is this, Patrick?
Look, I'm trying to adjust so that I'm putting this back, and if it falls,
It should be nowhere near Baby Yoda. Put him in your kitchen cabinet and drink from him for real.
No.
Oh,
No.
lead. You're a grown up. It doesn't affect your diabetes. I can have all the lead I want, just not as much sugar as I want. Patrick, and once again, you're deflecting. You keep getting in the way of me making this point, which is that sometimes I get the feeling that you try to book guests to avoid spending time with just me and Watto.
Very true.
We are very hurt.
Avoidance.
The second we have an hour and 15 minutes to spend time with one another, rather than looking at this as a grand opportunity, you immediately start trying to come up with ways to bring other people into the mix. When this is family time right now, Patrick. This is just the fam.
Patrick,
let's spend time with the fam.
Right now, this is the action. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this is what we fought for right now.
Yeah. Patrick, let's open up this spreadsheet. Let's spend the next hour really hitting the NAS on those donations.
Okay, let's come up with some stretch goals.
All right, we're nowhere near the fugitive.
We got to get to 2. I got the stretch goal for 2. Okay.
Yeah. Oh wait, I have one too. Hang on, let me think of one. What's yours, Watto?
I'm sorry. I said I have a stretch goal for 2. Then you jumped in and said, I have one. Actually, wait, I have one. Hold on, let me think of one. You're trying to steal the $2,000 stretch goal from me, even though you immediately admitted you don't have an idea for it. Patrick's off the screen. For $2,000, people remember in previous weeks, the Watto, though, needle point had fallen down. I since have reaffixed it to a higher spot, but it means this spot is now empty. So for $2,000, I'm going to mount this picture on the wall. For $2,000, this space will be filled. This will be affixed.
Hang on, Watto. Someone's saying, I think that's doable.
I think that's doable.
But your minute, if you break our trust in that minute, we'll pull you and get money.
Done deal.
Okay. Let's say there's a morality clause on the minute.
Ooh, you've heard of Santa Claus. Meet his.
This is the Santa Claus 4, the morality clause.
Stick in the mud, brother. Morality clause.
Yeah. Here's my pitch for the Santa Claus.
Genuinely great pitch for a movie.
Yes. No, look, Disney's rebooting everything, right? Disney should make Santa Claus 4 the morality clause, which is about Santa Claus fighting for the right to say the N-word. He doesn't actually want to say it. He just wants to be able to say it, but he's never going to say it. Tim Allen is back. Santa Claus 4, the morality clause. Stop censoring my hypothetical speech. I have no impulse to say this word myself, but you should let me. I won't do it, but you should say I can.
Hang on. Pakley is saying, could I get 30 seconds for $50? No.
Sorry. That kind of thinking killed Quibi.
Sorry.
No quick bites.
No quick bites here.
Yeah.
Sorry.
One exception to that is Fiddy.
What?
If 50 Cent wants to pay $50.
Oh, well, he is in Morning Glory.
Yeah. For 30 seconds for $50.
Yes.
He can come on the stream to talk, but only to talk about Morning Glory.
And you better remember the morality clause.
Better remember the morality clause.
I will say this. This marathon is going to be more about the morality clause than it ever has been. We're really going to enforce it all day today. The GLTS morality clause.
Yeah, and I just inadvertently came up with the tagline for the post-Trump morality clause, which is "Ho ho ho, no no no."
Ho ho ho, no no no. And it's Santa Claus saying, "Let me say it." I'm not going to, but I want to know that I could.
I think the poster is just a parody of the Tim Allen mugshot, but it's him as Santa.
Right.
So it's Santa, but he's got the big mustache, you know?
Yeah, and he's saying, okay,
Guys,
where are we at with donations? I have a new stretch goal.
We are at 1608.
1608.
Yeah.
I wish we were at 2000.
Me too.
I really do. When I think of those, because right now, Watto, I feel this metaphorically, but I imagine that right now you maybe feel this literally. My wings feel hopeless. Hopeless wings. Oh, we need those wings of hope to fly high. And to do that, we need more of your gosh darn money.
Gosh darn money.
Think about that morality clause.
Gosh darn money.
I know we can say some profane things on the show, but
a couple. We could say a couple.
Yeah, we fucking can.
So if you guys do spend the $100 and you want to come on for a minute, you have to email thegeorgelucastalkshow@gmail.com and you will get the link. Wada, what was your stretch goal? Did it get added?
No, I'm trying to find the right way to word it.
I'm going to figure out mine too. Hang on a sec.
Okay.
I'm working on mine.
I just went to go Google Harrison Ford and I typed it HARRYSON, which I like. I'm gonna call mine. Wada, what is your number that you want to call?
I wanted to call 1750 unless you think you have a close one. Remember, 2000 is Watto hangs the picture.
Watto hangs the picture. Okay. I'm going to say 2500 is called Strawberry Homicide.
Oh.
Okay. Strawberry Homicide.
Okay, wait. I need to find a good Harrison Ford title to build the pun around my new stretch goal. No.
I'm filming something that might be a potential bumper, or it might just be a little work of art, a little short film, just making a movie.
Okay.
That's all I'm doing right now.
Okay.
Okay. I think I came up with my very, very subtle pun on the Harrison Ford title.
Yeah.
1750.
Yeah.
Clear and present churros.
Great.
It took me a while to come up with that one. It's because I wanted to make sure it was clean. It was not sweaty.
Yeah.
I had to find just the right play on words.
Right.
Clear, unpleasant churros.
Clear and present churros. That's good.
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Doing all right. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I feel like we're always on. We never get the chance to just talk to each other.
Yeah. How was your week? I'm trying to think of what my week. Oh, my eyelid was swollen all week, Watto.
Yes.
You want to see a picture?
Watto was. No.
I'm gonna show it anyways. What was Watto doing this week?
Watto was constipated all week.
Oh, that's fun. Look at this.
Yeah.
Boy.
It's not fun.
That looks like a mock-up from the Creature Workshop.
That's not fun.
Yeah. That looks like a rejected design.
Yeah. It was not
George,
a style.
George,
It was not a style.
George, how are you doing? What was your physical ailment of the week?
I'm just getting up there. Everything's harder.
Like what? What was the hardest part of your week, George?
The hardest part of my week. Well, we're still putting together a museum. We're just gearing up. So it was just like.
But I heard end of this year, right?
Yeah,
Didn't that come out this week?
That's the goal, is to try to get construction at least finished. So if not at the end of this year, we want to make this happen in 2022. Just you got to pick because not everything's going to go in the museum at once. I know there are some people who are expecting to see Butterboy and Buttergirl on day one, but they're not necessarily going to be in the museum right away. What it might take is people coming in once the museum opens. What it might take is people coming into the museum every day and asking where Butterboy and Buttergirl are in the Norman Rockwell exhibition. It might just take popular demand to get those originals up. Wow, I have to say, rude of Patrick to ask a question.
George, my roommate needs the key to the basement, and I'm trying to go find it for him. I'll be back in 1 second.
Oh my God, the explanation.
Your roommate.
The explanation made it worse.
Worse. His roommate, Griffin Connor. I assume that's his name because at separate times Patrick has referred to a Griffin or a Connor and then said, that's my roommate. His roommate, Griffin Connor, is so eager to get at those frozen sausages that Patrick has to go downstairs and give him the key to the basement. George, it's a thing we never talk about on this show?
What?
That you have a young daughter.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to talk about my kids on this. What am I, Ted Cruz?
No, I'm not asking that you exploit your children.
Blame stuff on my daughter, like Ted Cruz?
No, I just am saying, you have children who are like grown now, but you and Melody had a daughter like 7 years ago. Mm-hmm. I feel like we never talk about your sort of work as a father. I'm not asking you to share personal stories about your daughter, but you're kind of an old dad now. You were saying it's yourself you're getting up there in years. Right. What's it like having a little 7-year-old running around the ranch?
It's great. Obviously, it would be better if there wasn't a pandemic on. That obviously makes things harder for all ages.
Yes.
But Skywalker Ranch, if you're going to be quarantined somewhere, it's a lucky place to be.
Yes.
What are you laughing about, Patrick? Who died?
We got a really great piece of fan art, and I want to show it.
All right. Very good.
Jabalea.
I will say too, Watto, of course, chugged the energy drink and went from being tired Watto to wired Watto. Mm-hmm. And he was vibrating from how much energy he had. And then Patrick texted Watto and said, "What are you doing? It looks like you're jerking off." So that pose came from, I want my hands to be visible while I shake so that people don't think I've gone tubing.
Proof that you're not.
Yeah.
Look, Ma, no tubing.
We also got this from Captain Boof.
If you gotta shake it and you don't want people to get the wrong idea, keep your hands up. Perfect. And hey,
perfect.
Hold on. Remind me how long although I guess it doesn't matter if this clay sculpture is a little bit damaged by being left in too long.
If it turns into dust, it just becomes more realistic.
Yeah.
Can you go back to that photo? I want to point out what I like about this. They not just made the meme, but they photoshopped it to make it look like Walter Donovan himself was tweeting the meme. And it's dated July 4th, 1938. That's the best detail for me.
That's the detail.
Yes, that's great.
That's very funny. I also like, is that the, oh yeah, I guess that is the, I didn't think it did like July 4th when you tweeted, but I guess it does.
Yeah, wow, Patrick, the problem in that sentence, you didn't need all the words you used. You could have just said, I didn't think.
Yeah. This guy taking the advice of the UCB too literally.
Let's go to the spreadsheet, Patrick. I have a name for one of my things. I worked hard and ultimately didn't come up with anything better than this. So we're just going to go with it. All right. So,
okay.
3,000, we have the Fugitive K-19, the Apple Chomper. Let's put at 3,500, The Secret Life of Carrots 2. TOO.
This is a fun game. Let's just look at Harrison Ford's IMDb and then run a mental inventory of what each of us has in our kitchen.
Yes. And well, here's the fun thing. If you get us to 3,000 and then real quick get us to 3,250, I will eat the apples along with the carrots in unison because I'll be doing a double.
Okay.
Set.
All right. George and Watto.
Yeah.
4,500. I'm just going to put it in there and you guys can see it.
I thought you were announcing that we made that amount.
Like, no.
Yeah. Right.
What lies burrito?
What lies burrito?
Yeah.
Well, now I got to look at some Harrison Ford titles and see if I'm going to go title
George,
first.
George, which ones do you want to know? Because I'll help you out. It's been my last few weeks. Has just been memorizing every freaking cast to a Harrison Ford movie. This was a tough one, guys. I'll say this. This was a tough one.
This was a tough one. I will say this. We felt bullish going into this one, and it's ended up being, I feel like, the most challenging one from your side of things. And even I'll say this. I feel like it's been the most challenging one for you to book, and even the people that George and I said, oh, we know these people, we work with these people, we have the in, more challenging for us as well than it's ever been.
Yeah, that's okay.
And that's even before you get to things like one of our guests waking up sick this morning.
Yeah.
Someone's work schedule changing at the last second. It's been.
Sometimes I just like to keep him on his toes and just bring him in, and he doesn't realize it.
I'll say he's pretty quick.
He's pretty quick.
He doesn't really miss. I'm looking at more Harrison Ford titles and thinking about what I have in my pantry.
Yeah.
I got one.
Okay.
Open up this spreadsheet. I want to make this one high.
Okay. Higher than the Wrecking Crew Goes to Malta?
No, not that high. That's the ultimate.
That's the top one.
Yeah. $9,000.
1 sec.
Great.
It's good.
I should check.
Good.
Yeah.
$9,000.
$9,000. Okay, what do we want to do for $9,000?
This is a big one.
Yes.
The mosquito toast.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's great. At $37.50.
Yeah. These all can't be food though. We got to be careful.
This isn't a food one.
Okay.
A vegetarian grass sausages.
It's not a food one.
Yeah, it is a food one. I lied. And then, at $4,750, more a vegetarian grass sausages. Please, where did Patrick go? I want him here for this moment.
George, one of our what do you call it? The breaker's broke, so I need to get it fixed. That's what I'm trying to work on.
The breaker broke? Isn't that what they're supposed to do? What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's a breaker.
One of the electricity break. You go down to the breaker box to switch it back on. What is that called?
A breaker, and it broke, and it sounds like that's what it's supposed to do. It sounds like that's in the name. It's like saying that
there's a lot going on.
Or a locksmith locked something.
There's a lot going on, George.
Wow. Well, I wish he'd taken his screen away because I'm sad to see the absence of Patrick and be reminded of it constantly. But here we are, frozen here. No one to update the charity stream. Jersey Dave, are you there?
Yeah, I just took Patrick off so you wouldn't have to look at it. It's sad.
Thank you, Jersey.
Good.
You're an angel. Here come those wings of hope flying into space.
I'm staying on.
Wait, no, you have to go to Broken Breakers.
Yep, break the broken.
Can we get some fan art of Indiana? No, let's say Connecticut Patrick and the Broken Breakers.
Can someone make?
Oh, he's on the phone. Hello, operator. It's me, Patrick.
Okay, Jersey Dave showing off his Case Gum Radio shirt. Jersey Dave, at one point in the private chat, you mentioned the thing that we could do to raise money. I'm not putting you on the spot here, but I did think it was a good idea.
Yeah, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. I have the worst selling T-shirt in the Chris Gethard Show history.
Now a rarity.
Yes.
Completely.
Now a rarity.
I think I have maybe 3 or 4 of them, which is all that remain. But they're in my attic, and my kids are asleep, so I can't go get them now because that will wake them up.
No, Jersey Dave.
Yeah.
Do it like the opening sequence in Raiders, where he has to be very careful. Like you be the Indiana Jones, and we'll play that music.
Yes.
And you have to get the Jersey Dave shirts out. Your children are sleeping on top of them. That's what they sleep on.
They sleep under the attic, which would be loud.
Under that, so you have to get into the attic.
Yeah, that sounds really fun, but not.
We get a replication of what kind of noise? Is it one where you pull down the thing and then a stairway comes down?
Yeah, it's like little locks. You bring it down, and then there's like a ladder that is very old.
Take away Patrick's thing.
Oh, I'm so sorry. You're right. Get out of here.
And can you approximate, not in a loud way that disturbs anyone, but what's the noise that it makes when you open the attic?
It's kind of like a whoomp. I wish it made that noise.
I feel like
we gotta get Hubel back. Have a whip off.
Oh yeah, love to get Hubel back for a whip off. Patrick, is there any way we can get Hubel back for a whip off?
Maybe not today. I don't know, but maybe soon. I went down and picked it. I just bought these.
Cool.
They immediately fog up.
Mask and glasses is tough.
It's tough.
You gotta buy special anti-fog goggles.
Yeah. Foggles.
You don't think you can get Hubel to come on for a whip off?
I think another week we can.
Why?
Another week we can?
Wow.
If I whip it enough times, do you think the sound of the whip can start sounding like the theme song? Like whip, 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 whip.
I already hear it.
Whip, 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 whip.
We're gonna get killed. We gotta mute that.
I'm hearing it. I'm hearing it. No, but Patrick, it was finally working. That wasn't us violating the copyright. That was us finally hearing it.
Oh, through the web?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The noise didn't change. It was our feeling.
Guys, can't do that.
Hold on. I can make it so that I can do it so that it when the music starts playing, it won't activate the copyright robots.
Okay,
Yeah.
hang on. Lotto, stop for a sec. Plausible Deniability is saying donate to request song covers on the whip.
Ooh, that's great. What a great idea. But whenever it starts playing the music that we don't own, I can cloud the music in a way that the robots won't hear it. It's by adding a single element.
This is what happened when a guest cancels the morning of. An hour of whipping.
Wait, we have 2 people who are coming on for 1 minute each.
Great.
Wow.
So let's get the clock ready.
You're talking about 2 1-minute friends?
Talking about 2 1-minute friends. Okay.
And can we give them the Abigail Bread Challenge countdown?
Bryson usually does that.
Great.
Can we call this?
Bryson's not here, so
1 minute minis?
1 minute minis.
Oh, no.
The morality clause.
We got to remember the morality clause. We got to remember they get 1 minute.
Yep.
To talk about whatever they want within the morality clause.
Yep.
And if it's it can't go over a minute. They get pulled after a minute.
Yes.
I hope they have stuff they want to talk about because I don't have any questions.
And at the end of a minute, they get the whip.
They get the whip. Ho, 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 no.
Oh, I whipped baby Watto out of this stocking.
We are at 196569 is where we were at. We were almost at 2,000. I think someone could get us to 2,000 right now. It's only $35. That's enough dollars. What?
What did we add again? Show me what.
196569. I was going to say.
So
we're $35 away from 2,000.
But why focus on what we're going to hit next instead of what we've already hit?
It's a great question. What if we hit Lotto?
And present churros.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, let's get our timer ready because we have one of our guests here. He's got a minute. Morality clause.
I'm going to do a timer on my phone or whatever.
Since we don't have a bumper specifically for this, we're gonna reuse one of our favorite bumpers to introduce our guests. Okay.
Okay.
Great.
Who's got the clock ready? Dave, you do?
Yeah.
All right. Here we go.
Watto! Why do you steal my fucking voice? Oh, wow, I really did not plan this out. I really thought this would be a thing, but wow, I fucked up for $100. Wow, I'm really not the funny person who bought the fucking puppet, and wow, I feel like a fucking fool. The silence is painful.
Hello, Triumph.
Hello, George. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
You gotta exit your screen.
You gotta turn down your speaker.
What did I do?
I think you're still in the stream.
I can't. No, that changes audio settings. You should be fine.
Oh, okay, great.
Whatever. I just wasted $100, but for charity, a good cause. I'm not the funny person. Carry on. Waste my minute. It's
Triumph. You got 5 more seconds. What do you want to say? What are your last parting words?
I poop on you.
Thank you, Triumph.
And with 1 second left.
Okay.
I think it should maybe be a rule that we don't speak during the minute.
I was being merciful. I decided they had donated, and I didn't like seeing them suffer. So I thought,
hang on, we're not started yet.
Wait, new minute.
Go.
All right. Hello, George, Watto, Dave, Patrick. Watto's last words there just mess up. I will end with a question. So you don't have to answer within this minute, but afterwards, I mean, it's got free. I just want to say thank you guys for setting this up. Like this week, you guys were talking about your weeks. I spent it 2 days without power in Texas. Then I got rescued by a friend, and then I'm back here. So I did miss the last 10 minutes of the last week's show. I assume nothing big happened. I don't know. You guys told me at some point. But it's been great to be able to just like unplug, like just focus on this stream for 12 hours on a Sunday after a crappy week. So I appreciate everything you've been doing. Yeah, and that's it.
Diego,
I have 20 seconds. Yes, Patrick.
You have 20 seconds, Diego. Diego, what is something you've always wanted to say to George Lucas? Retired filmmaker George Lucas.
George, I appreciate how candid you are, how true to your beliefs you are. And, if that makes some Star Wars fan unhappy, so be it. And that's not my question, so bye.
There you go. Wow. Patrick, I'm working on a little short film.
Yeah?
Yeah, but I need you to, I'm going to send you a message because I need something from you for it.
Okay. All right. So we got 2 minutes down. 2 minutes have been used. If anyone else, $100, you get a minute of our time. And listen, I'll say this. Dave and I will talk. If you want us to talk, we will talk. I will talk. If you want me to talk, I will talk.
Patrick, we're trying to get people to donate. We need encouragement, not discouragement.
Okay. Okay. Dave, we'll see you in a few minutes.
Bye.
That looks good, Watto.
It's
really,
very good.
When you hold it up close like that, it doesn't even look like cereal.
It looks like a churro.
It looks like a churro.
Also, I've never noticed how textured your hands are, Watto.
Well, no, that's from the churro.
That's good CG. That churro texture.
Bring the Noise did send us a new picture.
Very good.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. And that looks like it could go straight to Netflix.
I mean, that's a good shirt. I'll say that. That's a good shirt. Watto, what is your favorite Harrison Ford movie?
Morning Glory.
Let's talk about this because I had not seen Morning Glory until this. And it's great.
Okay. Watto has been telling you and George.
Yes, I know.
5 fucking years that Morning Glory is good. And then you text me something like, hey guys, did you know that the Morning Glory is good? Yes, I've been telling you for 5 years. Oh, but I didn't know I should actually listen to Watto. And then George watches it and goes, wow, Patrick, you're right. Morning Glory is good. Not Watto is right. We're sorry, Watto, for ever doubting you. Morning Glory is good. It's low-key charming. And Harrison Ford should have gotten a Best Supporting Actor nomination for it. He's excellent in the film.
I mean, right here. I don't know if you can. There she is. Rachel McAdams in Morning Glory.
Watto was right. Hashtag Watto was right. Hashtag listen to the Wattos. Hashtag morning Watto.
Yeah.
Hashtag morning churros.
Have you tried them with milk, Watto? You should.
Milk is for losers.
Milk is for losers. Okay.
I only drink green milk straight from the teeth.
Okay.
Luke style.
I have a stretch goal.
Yeah, George, let's hear it. Because right now we did get some more donations. We are at 219538 right now.
All right. Well, first of all, you didn't put at 47. You didn't put more vegetarian grist sausages. And let's put at 2195. Let's at 250. Let's say 6 minutes, 7 ice cubes.
At what? What's the number, George?
Let's make it the next one.
5250.
250. 6 minutes, 7 ice cubes.
Okay.
And I'll have some very surprising ice cubes, and I'll eat them all. Is 6 minutes a lot of time to eat 7 ice cubes?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
6 days
that's
is
okay.
too long. 6 days is too long. Or I do 6 days. So it's a play on 6 days, 7 nights.
What about 6 seconds?
No, it doesn't sound right.
6 seconds, 7 ice cubes?
No, that sounds like a death sentence.
How many systems? You know?
I don't know.
What about do you want George to Winter Pam's asking, do you want George to choke Patrick?
I don't think so.
I don't. I really don't.
Patrick, what's the estimate for? I asked you for a filmmaking resource.
I don't think it will happen until tonight, George.
You don't think it'll happen until evening?
Yeah.
How am I going to complete my film without that resource?
It's a great question. I don't know.
Do you want to go ahead and send me what we already have used that you do have, and I'll use that instead?
You can do that.
Yeah.
I like these glasses, George. I wish they were better at not getting fogged up.
Yeah, because they look like they are utility more than fashion.
Yes, therefore, like
But
they're
if
to
they fog
grow.
up,
Yeah.
so you don't get COVID in your eyeball.
Yeah, I don't want to.
No,
We
but
did get
that's
another
the thing.
piece of art from Sarah Clev. It's me saying the breaker broke, and it's me with the electric breaker.
And I would like to get some Connecticut Cottonar Indiana Jones fan art. We show him in different adventures in the style of the Indiana Jones things.
Yeah, that would be great. That would be great.
I looking at your hat, Patrick, forgive me for reminiscing. Only a handful of people will have any awareness of it, but you were present when we did the show at UCB East that celebrated.
Should we just show that video, George?
What video?
The video
of that show?
No, but we have the video of you going to the M&M store.
Let's show it. Yeah, let's absolutely show it. Okay, so this was years ago. We did one of the only remote pieces we ever did for the show at the East Village. We did a whole show that was just about. Hold on, let me see first if I can find, because I think the part I really want people to see is we did an entire episode that was just about Star Wars M&Ms.
Yeah.
Because famously, in the period between finishing sort of the two trilogies, before in sort of what we called the pre-Detours area, there was a lot of M&M Star Wars activity. So we did a whole show that was just about. I want to see if I can find the video of my opening number at that show.
If we get to, let's say this, hang on.
Yeah.
If we get to, I'll bump up Strawberry Homicide to 2750. If we get to 2500, we will show the M&M's video.
At 2500, yeah.
And we are at 2195, so we need $300. Let's try to do it quick because I want to do it before the other guest comes on.
Yeah, I don't want to. There's a guest here.
Yeah.
Do you know if there's video of? Because I came out and did an opening number, and I think there's only a fragment of this that still exists on film.
I'd have to check.
Where I came out and did a spoof of the Eminem song "Lose Yourself" with it was a double spoof because I added in both Star Wars lyrics and Eminem lyrics.
Let's see if I can find that, George.
I'd love to see if I can find any video of that because it truly was a show-stopping number. And the thing is, I wrote. Let me see if I can find the email that I wrote to the Eminem Corporation.
George,
yeah.
George, I got great news for you, buddy.
What? You have
I at least have the first 45 seconds of it. I do not have that full show for some reason.
I think that's enough.
I do have the first 45.
But let's do it as a stretch goal. Let's get it up a little bit.
Yeah, no, we'll say for 2500 you get George at the M&M store and George singing this song.
I see an email where it said, "Should I send this out?" And it was about the a press release about the M&M's store. Find. Oh, right here it is. Yeah. I say I wrote to someone at M&M's, the PR person for M&M's and Mars. I filled out a form on their website. Ooh, green Watto.
We are also Watto.
This is exciting. We have green Watto.
I'm trying to make my body the green screen for Eminem Han Solo, but somehow in the process I've made Watto green.
Well, now it's like you're the sexy lady Eminem.
Ooh.
Ooh. Watto.
Oh, now, okay, wait, now.
But Watto, I get that right now. I'm getting that exciting feeling that remember when Luke shows up and he suddenly has a green lightsaber after previously having a blue one?
Yeah. We have to
I like green Watto. This is an exciting, and it's also, we're talking about M&Ms. Will you do me a favor, Watto? Will you take this note? I know you know how to take direction. You know the sexy green M&M lady?
Yeah.
Very well, intimately.
Watto, you have been, oh my God. I don't normally, here's the thing is, all right, famously, I'm sexually unadventurous.
Of course.
But this is a little bit personal, but
guys, we are less than 150 away from seeing this M&M video. I think we can get there. Go ahead.
Sometimes couples will have like the list, the sort of hall pass list.
Of course.
Mine is just one name, and it's the green M&M.
The only one.
Anyway, so hold on. So this is the email that I, George Lucas, wrote to the PR person who responded to our show. I won't say the person's name because I don't want to get anyone in trouble. Although this is
Can you give something that rhymes with it?
Yeah, Crad. Hi, Crad. No problem. But just to throw out an idea for our October show next month, I would be happy to make the entire show related to M&Ms and to talking about Chocolate Empire. That was the name of the Star Wars thing. If M&Ms wanted to in any way contribute or be part of this, it seems like it would be a fun thing for us to do anyway in the month of Halloween. I'll probably buy and give away some M&Ms Star Wars stuff to the audience. And if there was any willingness to in any way be a part of it, that would be perhaps a fun opportunity. Even if it just meant sending someone in an M&M costume to wave at the crowd and give out tiny bags of M&Ms or something. Then I can feel myself.
I love that you suggested that like that was a small thing.
And then, but here there's a turn in the email that I'm very proud of. Because I clearly finished that paragraph and then thought, you know what? I'm going to do this whether they help me or not. So I go, I'll probably do an M&M related show regardless. I just figured it was worth mentioning in case there was any kind of outreach or promo stuff that was standard for something like this. I wouldn't expect there to be. I doubt you get a lot of requests from New York City comedy shows asking for help promoting M&Ms. So maybe this is just too far outside of what typically happens for there to be any real options on your end of things. But I at least want to. Yeah.
No, I just like your implication that what you are offering is the chance to help promote M&Ms. That you're not saying, would you consider helping me? You're saying, look, I'm willing to give you free advertising.
To like 60 people.
Sometimes we have hundreds.
Yeah. We are less than $10 away from seeing these videos, but I do also want to say it is time for another caller. So I do need Jersey Dave to get his timer up.
All right.
I'm the only one here with a timer, so yeah.
Okay, here we go.
The whip is ready.
Okay, here we go. I'm going to bring him in.
Hi, guys.
Go. Hang on. Go.
I just wanted to show you my cat, and she's going to eat some treats. She really loves treats. Watto, I don't eat milk with my cereal. I think it's gross.
It's for losers.
It's for losers. It's literally just going to be just some time of her eating treats. That's all we're going to do. She loves treats. Her name's Fiona.
Is she named after the princess?
She's not.
Fiona Shaw?
Or the apple?
No, the closest would be the apple because I'm a huge Fiona Apple fan, but that's just
we are close to the apple in terms of our stretch goals.
she's cleaning my hands for me. Great show, and have a great day, everyone.
Whip.
No way, it won't get flagged. It won't get flagged by the
Well,
copyright.
good news, guys. Good news. It is now time to watch George at the M&M store.
I'm gonna go into the M&M store. They've got a lot of Star Wars M&Ms, so we're just gonna have a little bit of fun with me, George Lucas, in the M&M store. Here we go. That's the M&M store. Oh, Star Wars M&Ms right here. Star Wars M&Ms. They have Star Wars M&Ms. Are these all the Star Wars M&Ms, or do they have Star Wars? Do you have more? Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm George Lucas. Are these all the Star Wars M&Ms that you have? Or do you have more Star Wars M&M things? Really? Oh, that's great. Oh, the escalator's broke. Okay. Are those, is that where they have the Star Wars M&Ms? Over there? Wow. Everything here is Star Wars, but also M&Ms. Melts in your mouth. Not your Han. I saw the one over there that had the melts in your mouth, not your Han.
Oh yeah.
One.
Yeah.
I couldn't figure. Yeah, I saw it there. That's it's melts in your. Is that off of melts in your hand?
Yeah, basically.
That's a great joke. I love that. Yeah, I could spend $1 million in here on stuff. It's great. I mean, I actually could. Star Wars is the best.
Absolutely.
You don't have Star Trek stuff, do you? It's just Star Wars stuff? Oh, excellent, great. That's better. That's better. I think people would be really bored if it was Star Trek stuff.
Yeah, I'm a big
Star
fan
Wars.
of Star Wars as well.
Yeah, it's more fun. It's more fun.
Definitely way deeper.
Yeah. Boba Fett. Very popular. Are you sold out of the Jar Jar ones, I guess?
We sold out of the Han Solo one, which was
Han Solo and Jar Jar are two most popular characters. Yeah. Do you think there's gonna be M&Ms in the next movie? Will they put a little cameo in?
inside of the Star Wars movie.
Yeah, like just one. It'd be great if there's one scene where it would just be like, would kill him to eat like a handful of them, you know? Really funny. Or just even one part like where they could say like, I love these candies, M&Ms.
Yeah, that would have been good.
That'd be really good. Have you gotten personalized ones? What did they say?
I did it for my mother's birthday. So
Yeah.
I got like her birthday, her name, number one mom, and happy birthday logos.
That's great.
Things like that. Yeah, it works out.
Moms are important. Moms, that's the whole motivation for Anakin, why he goes bad, because they sell his mom into slavery.
Sand people, yeah.
Yeah, so it's Mother's Day. It's a good day for Star Wars.
It makes sense with each other, right?
Yeah, it's great. Why aren't they playing John Williams music in here? What is this? Yep, no. Star Wars shirt. Third floor. It's like the third movie of a trilogy. Do you work here?
I do. No, I just wear the uniform.
I don't know, because I'm about to wear an M&M shirt.
I love it. I love it.
What's that? This is cool. Where do I, if I want to get personalized M&M things, is that on the ground floor?
I'm actually about to go there right now.
Oh, great, great. And what's your name?
Try to say it. I'll show you my name tag.
Oh.
I'll give you money if you can say it.
Muntasir.
Wow, I'm
Did I do it?
impressed.
Well, I know a lot of different names.
Well, I'm thoroughly impressed.
Very international,
I see that
intergalactic.
shirt.
I like R2 and 3PO. That's good.
All right.
Let me look here. I can scroll over for more choices.
But I
right?
think that's all we have.
Well, that's all for.
Oh no, I lied to you.
No, you didn't. What you were saying was true from a certain point of view.
That is true.
That's what you say when you lie to someone. What's your favorite Star Wars movie?
You're gonna hate me.
Why?
You're gonna hate me.
No, why will I hate you?
I really enjoyed Revenge of the Sith.
Give me a hug.
Yeah?
Give me a hug.
All right. There
That's
we go.
a fantastic movie.
Was that a pity hug?
No. That's the culmination of the whole saga.
Right, there we go.
Why would I hate you? I was worried you were going to say Empire.
Oh, no, absolutely.
That one's flawed, I think. Too sad.
What's yours?
What's what?
Yours.
My what?
Favorite.
Either the first one or any of the prequels.
Really?
Yeah.
You're the only person I know that would ever say the prequels.
I don't know. Well, now we know each other, so that's two people who like Revenge of the Sith.
Prequels.
And I think there's others. I think it's a silent majority. You know what I mean? I like to think that, because you can't You can't have an ending without a great beginning. That's what I always think.
That's true.
And I think the saga starts off.
Like,
that's the story.
Obviously, it had its negatives. Like, it wasn't the greatest acting in the world. It had Jar Jar.
Yeah,
Who
he was great.
When you think about it, he's the one that started the whole war because
he did, right? Because he authorized the vote. Oh yeah, sorry. He authorized the vote.
Exactly.
People don't always get that. He's one of the most important parts of it. Oops. Oops. All right. Here we go. Now we put these in the machine.
You actually could put a lot more in here.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's a little trick.
Wow. You're like a Jedi.
Pieces.
You're like a Jedi Master.
No, I prefer Sith.
Oh, you're a Sith. All right. Be careful.
A lot more Sith.
That's dangerous, though. They're bad guys. They killed a whole bunch of children.
It's all right.
They killed children.
It needed to happen. It needed to happen. The plot required it to happen.
I know, but really.
So what you're gonna do is you're gonna hit that green button for us.
I'm gonna hit that.
You're gonna hit that.
Oh.
And you just blew up all the round.
Oh no! Millions of chocolates crying out in agony.
And then suddenly silenced.
That's right. Oh no! Is there a chance that it looks like it's broken, but it's actually fully operational? Like a trap? It's a trap. Thank you. I'm George Lucas. Thank you. I feel that the power of the Force is strong with this M&M store. The Chocolate Empire, stronger than it's ever been. If you're in New York City, I highly recommend that you check out the M&M store. If you're a fan of M&M chocolate candies or of the Star Wars motion picture saga.
We're gonna mute that.
Right.
Oh boy, but hang on, that's not all.
That's not all.
Let's watch this. I have not seen this. I don't know how the quality is on this one. Wait, let's just show the beginnings because people have never seen what this looked like.
Yeah, this is what the old days.
It's just an M&M commercial.
Yeah, I'm really glad we showed the beginning, Patrick.
Patrick,
They laughed. They laughed at you, Otto.
Those are laughs in the past.
They're still
It's
laughing.
okay to laugh at this part.
No interactive words.
It's still a five.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the George Lucas Talk Show, episode 19, The Chocolate Empire, a celebration of M&Ms and Star Wars. Tonight's guests, we welcome former M&M's multicultural marketing manager for North American Chocolate, Mauricio Jimenez, and from Canada and Luke. If you had one chocolate or one chocolate-tunity to eat every treat you ever wanted in one moment, would you let it melt in your mouth and not in your hand? Yo, his palms have white gloves, weak arms are heavy, there's vomit on his candy coating already, Mars confectionery, he's nervous on the surface, looks delicious and ready to eat. Wow, but he keeps on forgetting what he wrote down. A lowercase m on his front, he opens his mouth, but the nuts won't come out, he's crunching.
That's it. That's all I have. I think my phone died.
Have?
I think my phone died.
Wow. Was that the show with neither Jar Jar nor Watto?
I think so, yeah.
Just me.
Yeah, that was very much a pre-Watto show, but I didn't realize Jar Jar wasn't there.
That was October 2nd, 2015. George,
wow.
Jokes about the silent majority back in 2015.
Wow.
Well, I'm sorry that we don't have footage of the full parody of that. I will look in my archives and see if I have anything.
I bet you could find. I bet you could at least find the words, George.
Yeah, I bet I could.
I bet you could.
But maybe the words won't come out.
Oh, that's right. In that, I don't know if you could hear the lyrics. I said that the nuts won't come out because
we heard it.
But
George, we absolutely heard it.
I also had forgotten that we booked as a guest on the show Matt Mayer simply because his initials were
Eminem.
And he asked, "Is that why you booked me on the show?" And I said, "No."
Look at Boba.
Oh, look at Boba.
Moba Met. You're making an M&M.
I'm on a second computer now. I'm searching to see if I maybe have the file for.
It's just me.
Yeah.
That was fun.
We didn't really do a lot of those kind of. I think that's the only time I did a remote piece like that. It's a lot of work, and it was. I was happy with how it turned out, but it's a lot of work to do, and so we never did it again.
I think that was just you and me, right? At the M&M store.
Right. That's right. It was a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
That was obviously before I started using the Howard jacket. I was sort of trying to get away from being, relying on the. It was before I was sort of shying away from referencing my career so much, but then I realized, no, it's more fun. I'm George Lucas. I should really lean into it. Yeah.
George, we did hit 6 minutes, 7 ice cubes.
Okay. All right. So let me go get.
Donate 100. Yeah, if you guys want to donate $100 to get your face on Watto's butt, sure, we'll do that.
Yeah.
No question. No question. Did you hang it, Watto?
I did. Can you not see it there?
I see it. I see it.
There's a reflection. There's a glare. But look.
Yeah. Look at that. If people want, let's say $75 to put you on Watto's butt.
Okay.
75.
And also, by the way, you can pick a different image to put on Watto's butt. It does not have to be your own likeness, but once again, the
morality clause. Don't forget the morality clause.
We get to have a veto if it is immoral.
And we stick to that morality clause in our lives. Like we really.
This is a deeply moral show. If nothing else. Deeply moral.
I wonder what happened to that guy at the M&M store. We tried to get him on the live show that night. We asked him. I believe he said he would, and then he just didn't show up.
I mean, here's my question. We have like 10 hours at least left in this live stream.
Can we find this
guy? Do you think there's any way we can track this guy down within the next 10 hours?
Don't? Is that your surprise, George?
No, don't.
Oh,
okay.
No, we later found a video of him online, and it looked like someone who might come to the theater, and he had a very different demeanor.
Yeah,
and I genuinely thought.
Let's not talk about it anymore.
All right,
let's not talk about it anymore.
Wow,
I do remember that.
I messaged Patrick with that I had found something, and I said, Patrick, call it off.
Okay. Two things. Three things. We're not going to talk about it. But thing one.
Oh, that's
Patrick,
not
it. No. We're not going to talk about it. That's a preemptive
Ice Cube 1. Okay? Ice Cube number 1. See it? Pretty cool.
Ooh, okay. You have until 1:55 p.m. Eastern, 10:55 a.m. Pacific for you, George.
Okay. Thing number one. Patrick, just type what was in the video in the private chat. Thing number two. I feel like because we have had some cancellations today and we have some gaps in the schedule.
Yeah.
Not trying to book the M&M store guy, but maybe can we pick someone that it's a goal to see if we can get them on the show sometime in the next 10 hours.
Who do you want it to be? I have one. Let me put it in the private chat.
Okay.
And you tell me what you think.
Let's put this in the private chat because I left the stream for 60 seconds. You almost got.
I think that's a good one. I think that's a good one. I think look, I'll say this. I think it should be someone like that who I think would be good on the show and is online enough that all of our Georgie Porgies could perhaps
I would say this person is active on Twitter currently right now, so I think this. Can we say it?
Yeah.
Sure.
Can you hear me?
I think we should try to get Mary Lynn Rice Cub on the show.
Yes.
Can you see me?
Yes, George, we can see you.
All right, my screen has gone blank.
Well, leave and come back, George. Okay.
Mary Lynn Rice Cub tweeted an hour ago. Now, very often on this show.
Wado, she faved tweets 3 minutes ago.
And look, very often on this show, we will reach out to someone and it just won't get past their reps. We never even know if they heard about the show because they'll never even extend the offer to the direct person. So let's just see. This is someone we tried to get. Yeah. There was no response. There was not a no. There was not a rejection. And let's treat this like Gethard on Christmas morning or New Year's Day, whatever it was, shirtless, saying, let's try to get Al Roker. If Mary Lynn passes, we change our target. Yeah. Right?
I think, everyone want to tweet at her and say, the G. Lucas Talk Show is doing it. Put this in your own words. G. Lucas Talk Show is doing a fundraiser, talking to people.
For charity.
A charity fundraiser, talking to people who are in movies with Harrison Ford. Would love it if you stopped by.
Yes. I think this is a good thing. Now I want to make point number 3.
Wado, maybe if you follow Mary Lynn, it might get through quicker too.
Oh, sure. Let's see if a follow from @Watto, though, gets through to Mary Lynn.
Never know.
Patrick, here's number 3. Ready?
Yes, Watto.
Oh, no!
Secret show! Ho, ho, ho.
Where did George go?
He froze, so he was coming back.
Number 3 was specifically for George.
Can you say it to me?
Yeah, but you're not going to be able to answer.
Say it, maybe I will.
You conclusively will not be able to answer, but here we go. Let me award your hubris, your arrogance. Are you ready to be fucking pwned, you noob?
Yes.
I'm going to fucking ruffle copter on the floor when you have such an epic fail at these questions.
Yeah.
Patrick, here's number 3. A thing that you claim you might be able to answer. George, what was the thing you were going to say about the green M&M?
Oh, it's that she's cute and I've always had a crush on her.
That's not an honest answer. It's not. You're projecting. It's a goofy make-em-up. Okay, this is Ice Cube number 2.
Is this a porn?
Number three.
Oh,
George,
number 3.
George, I know that you said, is this too much time? You have 2 more minutes to eat the last 3.
Yeah, you might have to start sticking multiples in at the same time.
Yeah.
That's Boba? That's a Boba helmet?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
That's 4. Okay, the Falcon. That's 5.
George. Matt Landry.
Broken.
That's 6? That's a big one, George.
Wow.
That's a big one. Yeah, you got to keep going, buddy.
Yeah.
If not, George, you got to make 6 more and we got to do this again.
Yeah, unfortunately, we have to get it under time.
You gotta, buddy. You gotta.
George. Isn't it weird to just think that like 500 people are watching this right now, or watching George Lucas try to put novelty-shaped ice cubes into his mouth as quickly as he can?
Think about it a lot. Guys, we need some more.
Thank you, Dave.
We need some more tweets to Mary Lynn. I want to make sure she sees this.
I want everyone to say, and just, be very nice, be very kind. They're fun boys. And the boys, Watto, Patrick, and George Lucas.
And say that we're talking to people who were in movies with Harrison Ford. That's the impetus for this.
Yes. What was the movie she was in with Harrison?
Oh, you want to know?
Yes. Firewall!
I want to be clear. Watto did not know about this hat.
I did not. Say
George, you got 6, 5, 4, 3,
2, 1.
Congrats, George.
George, I have a thank you for that. I have a big question now that you're done with the ice.
Yeah.
What were you going to say about the green M&M?
What about her?
You said, Watto, are you familiar with the green M&M? And I said, intimately familiar. And then you laughed and you never paid off.
About my hall pass.
Oh, I forgot.
I'll never forget.
George,
Watto, you have to tell me everything.
George, you should go back to first unit. Try to go back to first unit.
I'm trying. You should have some understanding.
I will say I had an idea when we had Julian on that was no one has heard of the movie Strings. Even Julian has never heard of the movie Strings. What if we suddenly got Strings to trend and we got it to get a big bump on iTunes or something? And then I realized Strings is literally unavailable on any streaming or rental service. It doesn't exist. It's an out-of-print 2004 DVD of this Danish marionette epic, a very serious movie.
Now, Watto, here's a question.
Yeah.
This might be a Jersey Dave question, too. Do you think an out-of-print 2004 Danish movie would get us pulled from copyright if we watched it on the stream? That was a Jersey Dave question. Then he left.
And I'll say this about every single streaming service. No strings attached.
That's the big hook of this movie. You see the strings.
You see the strings.
You see the strings.
Sorry, I was on the phone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, do you want to hear my impression? Once I get onto the back onto the main unit.
Yeah.
You want to see my impression of every single CEO of every single streaming service?
All right, bye, Dave.
Yeah, I just quickly want to point out that Bryson, who is pointedly not working today, took the time to log on and in the chat say, yes, we should not stream strings. Oh, no, we lost.
Well. Well. Is the movie good, Watto? You like the movie?
Yeah, I love it. He's got puppets. It's like a Shakespearean family drama.
Yeah.
Here we go. Where are we at? Where are we at on the donations right now?
The donations right now, we are at 253038.
253038.
Which means we are like $200 away from Strawberry Homicide.
And let's say if we get to 2600, Watto will read the synopsis of Strings from the back of the DVD.
What is it? 2600?
26 or close.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, and George is gonna love this synopsis.
Now, guys, we're gonna switch over the StreamYards. Okay, so we'll meet you guys back here in 1 second.